In this video, we are going to see top 20 Java programs that you should know in order to become a better Java developer. While you're watching this video, please make sure that you pause this video and practice on your own so that on different inputs you get different outputs, and based on the logic of the Java program, you clearly understand the purpose of writing the Java program. If you are new to Java programming language, then you can watch my other Java tutorial playlist that I have made for you, which contains several videos that will help you to understand the basics about the Java programming language. You can also access the timestamps I have given in the description section in order to jump to a particular Java program. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. Java program to find the sum of numbers entered by a user. So guys, basically the user is going to enter some couple of numbers. As you can see, for example, numbers entered by user, it is 10 and 20, and the sum of numbers that is entered by user, it will be equal to 30. So this sum, that is 30, we are going to calculate with the help of a Java program. Another example that we will see is enter the count of numbers. That is, let's say if the user wants to add more than 2 numbers. So in this case, user will have to tell how many numbers the user will have to enter, and accordingly using the for loop, we will add those many numbers and then we will find the sum of those numbers. So let us move to Eclipse IDE and quickly write the Java program to find the sum of numbers. So first of all, we are going to add 2 numbers. So let's say we define the 2 number variables, that is num1 and num2. These number variables are not having any values over here, but we are going to take the values from the user. So first of all, we will ask the user to enter the first number. So over here we will have the print statement and we will say enter first number. Now in order to take the first number from the user, what we will do is we will define a scanner class over here. So we have the scanner class and the object, let's say we define it as the SC. So it will be new scanner. So we have used the constructor over here, and this will be system.in. That's because we are taking the input from the user on the console. So over here SC is the object that we will use in order to take the values of num1 and num2 from the user using the console. So what we will do is over here on the next line we will have num1, it is equal to sc dot next int. So guys, as you can see, there are multiple methods that are being used in the scanner object. So in this case we are going to use the next int method. That's because it will take the integer from the user. Similarly, what we will do is for the num2 as well, we will take the input from the user by using this another print statement over here. So I'll just copy this and paste this over here. I'll say enter second number, and then we will use this expression, that is using the num2. So I'll just copy this and paste this over here. I'll change this to num2 over here. So num2, it is equal to sc dot next int. This will be responsible in order to take the second number, and then guys we can easily add the 2 numbers. So what I will do is I will have the print statement over here. So I will say sum of these numbers is, and then I will simply do num1 plus num2. So guys, this is the important expression over here. We have taken the values, that is num1 and num2, from the user using the console and using the scanner object over here, and we are adding both these numbers and displaying as the sum by using this string, that is sum of these numbers is. So guys, let me just save this file now and try running this code. So as you can see, it is first of all asking for enter first number. So we will say 10 as the first number, and then I'll press enter. So it is asking for second number, enter second number. So I'll say 20 and then I'll press enter. So as you can see, sum of these numbers is 30. Now guys, let us take another example. I'll run this code once again. So the first number that I will enter is, let's say I enter 14 over here. So I'll say 14, and then the second number that I want to add is, let's say I want to put 17 as the second number. So the sum should be 31 over here. So as you can see, sum of these numbers is 31, and in this way we can easily add the numbers using the Java program by using the scanner class over here. Now guys, let us move to another example in which the user wants to add the numbers that is more than 2. So till now we have added just 2 numbers over here. What if the user is having more than 2 numbers? So what we will have to do is we will ask for the user to enter the count of the numbers that the user want to be added. So over here I have cleared all the lines of code. So what I will do is, first of all I will provide int count. So over here user will enter the count of the numbers, and then we will take all the numbers from the user one by one using the for loop over here. So what I will do is, first of all we will take the input from the user. So we will say enter count of numbers and then colon, and then we will again have the scanner class over here. So again I will use the SC object. It is equal to new scanner, and guys, this is the way, this is the constructor that we are using in order to take the input from the user. We have system.in. So guys, over here we have defined our scanner object. Now what we will do is we will take the count from the user. So count, it is equal to sc dot next end. So the program will ask the user enter count of numbers, and the user will enter the count of the numbers by using this sc.nextInt method over here, and then we have the semicolon. Now guys, we have to use the for loop, and that many number of times, that is whatever count is entered by the user, we have to go through that for loop. So over here what I will do is inside the for loop we will have int I, it is equal to 0, I less than count. So I, it will go from 0 till I less than count. We are not making it as less than or equal to. That's because we are starting from 0 and not from 1. And then over here I'll say I plus plus. Now guys, inside this we will have to take all the numbers one by one. So what I will do is I will just take one variable over here, that is number, and then another variable which will store the sum of all these numbers. So what we will do is one by one we will take all the numbers. So over here I'll say number, it is equal to sc followed by dot, and then we have next end. So the very first number that is entered by user, we will have to add it into the sum. Now guys, over here initially what I will do is I will say sum, it is equal to 0 initially. That's because we have not added any number so far. So after the user has provided any number over here and it is being stored in the number variable, we will add this number variable to the sum variable over here. So we can simply do sum, it is equal to sum plus number. So guys, hopefully you have understood this particular concept, that is sum we are keeping it as 0 initially. That's because we have not got any number from the user so far, but inside this for loop one by one the control flow will come over here and it will ask the user to enter the number, and then after the user has entered the number, that number will be added to the sum variable, and finally after coming out of the for loop, the sum variable will have the sum of all the numbers that were added by the user. So over here finally what we have to do is I will simply say sum of all these numbers and then colon, and then I'll say sum. So guys, this is very simple program in order to find the sum of multiple numbers that user wants to enter. So guys, let me just save this file and try running this code now. So over here enter count of numbers. So I'll say 5 as the count of number, and then guys, since we have not provided any statement over here, it is not printing any statement over here on the console as well, but over here we are supposed to provide all the 5 numbers one at a time. So let's say I provide first number as 1, then second number as 2, third number as 3, fourth number as 4, and fifth number as 5. Now guys, after entering the last number, notice that when I press enter, the control flow should come out of this for loop, and then this statement, that is sum of all these numbers, should be printed along with the sum. So let me just press enter over here. So as you can see, sum of all these numbers, it is equal to 15. So if we check in the calculator as well, if we add all these numbers, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 and then equal to, it is saying 15. So guys, this is the Java program that will help you to take the count of the numbers from the user and add all those numbers one by one in a particular variable and print the value of that variable finally outside the for loop over here. Let us take another example. Let me just run this code once again. So enter the count of numbers. Let's say I provide the count of numbers as 4 this time, and then I want to enter 4 numbers. So let's say I start with 7, and then we have 8, and then we have 9, and then we have 10. Let me just extend this console so that you can see all the output over here. So as you can see, we have entered the count as 4 and the numbers, that is 7, 8, 9 and then 10. And then when I press enter, as you can see, sum of all these numbers, it is 34. Only 4 numbers were taken over here. That's because we had given the count as 4. And if we check the same thing in the calculator over here, we will add 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 and then equal to, it is saying 34. So guys, this is the way we can write our Java program in order to add multiple numbers. Java program to add digits in a number. So guys, for example, as you can see, if the number that is entered by a user is 123, in this program what we are going to do is whatever digits that are present inside this number, we will add all the digits inside this number and display the sum of those digits. So guys, let us move to Eclipse IDE over here. We will use the divide and remainder operator in this case. So first of all, we need to take the input from the user inside a variable. So let's say we have the int number over here, inside which we will take the value from the user. So over here we are going to ask the user in order to enter the number. So let's say we provide enter the number to find sum of digits. So guys, this is the statement that we are going to provide to the user so that user can provide the number over here. And what we are going to use is we are going to use the scanner class, which is very much useful in order to take the integer values from the user. Guys, you can use the other classes as well, including the buffered reader also, which is faster than scanner. So over here we have the sc object, and then we have new operator followed by the scanner constructor, and then we will have system.in, because this will help us in order to take the input from the console. So guys, what we will do now is we will take number, it is equal to sc.nextInt. So guys, over here this statement, that is sc.nextInt, this will help us to take the input from the user and assign that value, whatever value is being provided by the user, to this number variable. Now whatever number we have provided, so for example, let's say we provided 1, 2, 3, we need to find sum of all these digits. So how this thing can be done? What we have to do is we have to use the while loop. So we will say while number, it is greater than 0. Now guys, why it is greater than 0? Because every time we want to divide this number by 10. So ultimately when this number becomes less than 0, the control flow will come out of this while loop. So over here what we will do is we will first of all get the last digit of this number. Now guys, what is the logic behind getting this last number over here? So what we will do is, let's say the number entered is 1, 2, 3. So first of all we will divide this number by 10. So the remainder will be 3 over here and the quotient will be 12 over here. So we will get the last digit, it is equal to 3 by dividing it by 10, and then we will save the quotient in the number variable over here, which will be 12 in this case. So guys, we have got 3 now over here. Now again we will divide this number 12 by 10 again. So digit will be 2 in this case. That's because we will be getting the last number over here, and the previous digit was 3. Now this 3 that was previous number, we will add it to this digit, that is 2, and the sum, it will be 5 over here, and the number, it will be divided by 10. So this time it will be just 1 over here. That's because 12 divided by 10 is 1. And then finally again we will use the remainder operator and we will get the digit, it is equal to 1 in this case. And if we divide 1 by 10, we will get the number as 0. So number in this case, it will be equal to 0. So all these digits we were able to extract from here. Guys, over here instead of 5 it is 2. So over here it will be 3, 2 and then 1. So one by one we have extracted all the digits, and we just need to add those digits in order to get the sum of digits over here. So guys, let us move to the program over here. So similarly what we will do is, first of all we will say number and then %10. So in this case we will get the last digit in this case. So over here we need to store it inside a particular variable. So let's say we provide the variable name as last digit over here. So it is last digit number %10. Now we need to find number divided by 10 over here, and this result will be stored in the number itself. That's because every time we are checking for this number variable whether it is greater than 0 or not. So over here we have divided the number by 10 and stored the value in the number itself. And what we will do is, let's say we have a separate variable over here which will have sum, and initially it is equal to 0. So we will add all the numbers inside this sum. So it is sum equal to sum plus the last digit will be taken over here. So I'll just copy this and paste this over here. So basically what we are doing is, this particular statement is getting the last digit of the number, and then the number is being reduced, that is the last digit is being removed from that number, and then again the last digit is being added to the sum variable over here. Eventually when the number is being divided by 10 and finally the number becomes 0, the control flow will come out of this loop, and we will have sum of all the digits inside this number inside the sum variable, and we just need to print that. So over here I will provide the statement. So I'll say sum of all digits is, and then colon, and then I'll simply provide sum over here. So guys, let me just save this file now and try running this code. So as you can see, enter the number to find sum of digits. So over here, let's say I provide the number as 1, 2, 3, and then when I press enter, it says sum of all digits, it is equal to 6. And guys, that is the correct answer. That's because 1 plus 2 plus 3, it is equal to 6. Now guys, let us take another example. I'll run this code once again, and over here, let's say I provide the number as 8, 5, 4 and 9. So guys, what will be the sum of all these digits? Let us check in the calculator over here. It is 8 plus 5 plus 4 plus 9, and then equal to, it is equal to 26 in this case. So when I press enter over here, 26 should be displayed. So as you can see, sum of all digits is 26. And guys, in this way we can easily write a program that will add all the digits inside a number. Guys, this is a very important program and it can be asked in an interview question as well. So make sure that you practice on your own, so that on different number inputs you get different output, and that is how you are going to learn about these Java programs. Java program to find prime numbers. So guys, a prime number is a number that is greater than 1 and can be divided by 1 or itself only. So basically whatever number that can only be divided by itself or 1 is a prime number. So as you can see, in other words, prime numbers can't be divided by other numbers. It is very important to note that 0 and 1 are not prime numbers. So initially these numbers we have to set as the non-prime numbers 0 and 1. After that 2 is the only even number that is a prime number. Why so? That's because all the other even numbers can be divided by 2 and the other numbers cannot satisfy the condition of being the prime number, which can only be divided by itself. So basically because all the other even numbers can be divided by 2, they are not the prime numbers. So guys, let us check the Java program in order to find whether the entered number is a prime number or not. So basically we are going to have initially the integer, that is the number. Now this number will be taken as the input from the user. So we are going to have the print statement over here, and we will ask the user to enter the number, and we are going to check whether this entered number by the user is a prime number or not. So we are going to use the scanner class in order to take the input from the user. We have the sc object followed by new operator, and then we have the scanner constructor, and inside this parenthesis we will have system.in. So this statement is responsible in order to ask the user for a particular input which will be stored inside this number. So in order to store the number entered by the user, we will have this number, it is equal to sc followed by dot, and we have next int method which is responsible to store the number after taking from the user inside this number variable. Now guys, as we have seen, the starting number that is 0 or 1 is not the prime number. So it can so happen that the number that is entered by the user is 0 or 1. So what we will do is, first of all we will check whether the entered number is 0 or 1. So it is number equal to 0 or number equal to 1. So over here we are checking whether number is 0 or 1 that is entered by user, and if so, what we will do is, the entered number is not a prime number, we will have to print that statement. So we will say number that is entered by user is not prime number. So guys, this statement, this if condition is responsible in order to check whether the number is entered as 0 or 1, and if so, the number is not a prime number. Now guys, after this we will have the else part, and inside this else part, if let's say the number is not 0 or 1, we will check whether the entered number is a prime number or not inside this else part. So what is the logic behind finding whether a number is a prime number or not? So guys, over here I'll show you with the help of example. So let's say if the entered number is 20, that is entered by the user. So first of all we have to find the middle number, which can be found by dividing this number by 2. So middle number, it is equal to 20 divided by 2. Now what is the logic behind finding this middle number? It will be equal to 10. We have to go through a for loop which is starting from 2 and ending up to 10. Why ending up to 10? That's because whatever numbers are there after this 10, that is 11, 12 or 13, So these numbers after middle number, if we multiply by 1, then we will get these numbers itself, and if we multiply them by 2, we will get the numbers which is greater than this entered number. So let's say if we consider 11 in this case, we multiply it by 2, we will get 22, which is greater than 20, and then we have 12, which is multiplied by 2, which will be 24, again it is greater than 20, and so on. So guys, there is no use of using these numbers in order to check whether the entered number is a prime number or not, and in this case we can optimize our Java program. Our Java program needs to be optimized, and only we should check the valid test cases. So we will only go from 2 to the middle number, that is 10. So guys, over here what we will do is, first of all we will define the middle number, that is integer middle number. So this is the variable that will store the middle number over here. Now what will be the middle number? It will be number divided by 2 in this case, and then we have semicolon. So in this case we will be computing the middle number. So whatever number that is entered by the user divided by 2 will be our middle number. Now what we will do is, we will use our for loop, and integer I, it goes from 2, because we are not using 0 or 1 in this case. We are starting from 2, and then we have semicolon, we have I less than or equal to middle number over here. So we have middle number and then I plus plus. So guys, only these test cases we are going to check, that is I, it is equal to 2 up to middle number, and we are going to check that whether there is any number in between these numbers that will be successful to divide this entered number. And if there is any number that can divide this particular entered number, then this entered number is not a prime number. And if there is no other number in between these numbers that can divide this entered number, then the entered number is a prime number. So guys, that is the logic behind finding the prime number using the Java program. So inside this for loop, we will have the if condition, and then we have number percent, this variable that is I, which goes from 2 to middle number, and we will check whether this expression is equal to 0 or not. So guys, if there is the number that is I, it can divide this particular entered number, so the remainder will be 0, in which case it is not a prime number. So over here we will have the print statement once again. I will copy the same statement over here and I'll paste this over here. Now after this statement, we are going to also have another temporary variable. So what will be the temporary variable? Over here we will define flag which is equal to 0 initially. Now guys, what is the importance of this flag? So in case we have found that there is any number that is I which can divide the entered number and the remainder is 0, in that case we will make flag is equal to 1. So over here, after printing the statement that is number is not prime number, we will say flag it is equal to 1, and we will come out of this loop. That's because there is no point of checking the other numbers in order to see whether those numbers are dividing this particular entered number or not. That's because we have already found that the number is not a prime number. So we will come out of this loop using the break statement. And now it is very important that after this for loop, we have to print whether a particular number is a prime number or not. So guys, using these cases, we have found that the number is not a prime number. But how do we print that the number is a prime number? So after going through all these cases, that is from 2 up to middle number, so still we have not found any number that was I which can divide this number that is entered by the user, and we have found the remainder. So basically the flag value is still 0 and it is not set to 1. So after this for loop, we are going to check whether the flag is 0 or not, and if flag it is equal to 0. So in this case, if flag is equal to 0, what we will do is we will print the statement that is the entered number is a prime number. So over here, number, and then we have is prime number. So guys, over here we have the print statement that will say the number that is entered is a prime number. That's because we have not found any number between 2 up to middle number that was able to divide this entered number. So guys, let me just save this file and try running this code now. So let me just enter the first number as 7 over here. So 7 is a prime number. That's because there is no other number before 7 that can divide this number that is 7. Let me just check another number over here. Let me just run this file once again. I'll enter the number 9 which can be divided by 3. So in this case, the 9 is not a prime number. That's because we can divide the number by 3. Let me just run this file once again. Let me check the number that is 21, which can be again divided by 3, or it can also be divided by 7. So let me press enter. As you can see, 21 is not a prime number. Let me just run the file once again. We will check for 47. So in this case, As you can see, 47 is a prime number. That's because there is no other number less than 47 which can divide this number. So guys, this is the way that we can write our Java program in order to find whether the entered number is a prime number or not. Java program to reverse a string. So guys, basically as you can see in this example, if the string is equal to ABC, we are supposed to get another string, that is the reverse string, and the content of this string will be CBA, which is the reverse order of this original string, that is ABC. So guys, let us write a Java program to do so. So let me just move to the Eclipse IDE over here, and first of all we will define the string, that is string over here, and I'll say str, it is equal to ABC in this case. So inside this quotes we are going to write ABC as the string over here. Now guys, we are going to have another string, that is the reverse string in this case, in which we are going to have the reverse order of this string, that is ABC. So initially the reverse string is blank. So what we will do is, the logic behind this program is very simple. We have to go through the for loop and we have to extract each character over here, and that character needs to be appended in the front of this reverse string. So what we will do is, we will have another character, that is ch over here, and we will store each character inside this ch variable. So we have a for loop over here, and this for loop, it will go from int I, it is equal to 0, to I less than whatever the string is, up to the length of the string. So we have the length method over here, which will return us the length of the string that is entered by the user, or if it is defined inside our program itself. So after this, inside this for loop, we will have I++. So what we will do is, we will extract the first character, that is A, by using this variable, that is I, and store it inside this ch. So over here ch, it will be equal to, we will use the original string, that is str, followed by dot, and then we have a method called character at. So guys, this char at will be used in order to get one character from this original string, and which will be that character? We will be using this I variable, that is starting position, it will be 0. So in this case, the I value is 0, and since I values is 0, the character that will be returned is the first character, that is A, since it is a 0th based index. The character at the second index, that is I is equal to 1, will be B in that case. Now guys, since we have found this character, what we have to do is, we have to append this character in front of this reverse string. So over here, after the statement, we will have reverse string over here again, and then reverse string, it will be equal to ch plus reverse string once again. So whatever the reverse string is, we will be appending in front of that the character that we have extracted just now, and then we will store the entire result back again to the reverse string. And after this for loop, we will be printing this reverse string in order to find the reverse of the original string over here. So we will have the print statement, and we'll say reversed string is, and then we have colon, and then we have reverse string over here as the variable name. So guys, let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, reverse string is CBA. So basically the original string was ABC, and we have just reversed it, and the content of the reverse string is CBA. Let me just put another string over here. Let's say we have X, Y, Z over here, and then let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, Z, Y, X, that is the reversed string. Let me just put programming for beginners string over here. That is the name of this YouTube channel, which you should definitely subscribe. Let me just run this code once again. As you can see, programming for beginners is being printed in the reverse order over here. So guys, in this way you can easily write a Java program that will help us in order to reverse a particular string. Java program for Fibonacci series. Now guys, the Fibonacci series is a series where the next term is the sum of the previous two terms. So basically the first two terms of the Fibonacci sequence are 0 followed by 1. So as you can see in this example over here, the Fibonacci series, the first two terms are 0 and then 1, and then the next term, it will be equal to 0 plus 1, that is the sum of the previous two terms. After this, the fourth term, it is equal to previous two terms, that is 1 plus 1, it is equal to 2, and then the next term, that is 3, it is the sum of the previous two terms, that is 2 and 1, and so on. So whatever the next number is, it will be equal to the sum of the previous two numbers. 3 plus 2 is 5, and then 3 plus 5 is 8, and then 5 plus 8 is 13, and then we have 8 plus 13 as 21. So guys, we are going to write a Java program in order to find this Fibonacci series. So let us move to the Eclipse IDE over here, and first of all we are going to define the number of terms that we want in our Fibonacci series. So let's say n it is equal to 10. So we are going to find the first 10 numbers in the Fibonacci series over here, and then we also need some more terms over here. That is the first number, it is equal to 0. This we need to consider, and the second number as well we are going to consider it as 1. So guys, these are certain assumptions that we have to make. That is, the first number it will be 0, and second number it is equal to 1. Now after this, the third number we have to compute, and the other numbers we have to compute using the content of the Fibonacci series. So guys, over here we are going to simply have a for loop, and then what we will do is int it is I, it is going from 1 to I less than or equal to n, because that is the amount of numbers that we want in our Fibonacci series. So I, it goes from 1 to n, and then we have I plus plus. Now guys, over here we are using the for loop. You can also use the while loop, or you can also use the recursion as well while writing your Java program. So first of all, what we will do is we will have the print statement over here, and we will print this first number, that is 0. So I will just copy this and paste this over here, and then after this, in order to separate all the numbers inside this Fibonacci series, we are going to have comma followed by space so that we can read them properly. Now after this, what we will do is we have to compute the next number. So over here what I will do is I will define the next number variable over here. So we have next num. So over here what we will do is next num, it is equal to previous two nums, which is equal to first number and then second number. So we have first number and then we have second number. So these two variables, that is first num and second num. So we will find the next num. In this case it will be equal to what? 0 plus 1, it is equal to 1 in this case. Now guys, till now we have the three numbers in our series, that is first number is 0, second number is 1, and the third number is inside this next num, that is 0 plus 1, which is equal to 1. Now we need to find the fourth number over here. Now how do we find the fourth number? When the control flow comes next time inside this for loop, we will have to find the fourth number, and in that case our first number and second number needs to be updated. So over here our first number will be updated to the second number now in this case. So second number, and then our second number, it will be equal to our next number over here. So it is next num. So guys, I hope you have understood this logic over here. If not, then we will understand more about this while we are running this code. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, all the numbers are being printed on the new line over here. What I will do is, instead of using the println method, we will only use print method so that all the numbers are being printed on the same line. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, our Fibonacci series is being displayed over here. The first two numbers are 0 and then 1. The third number is 0 plus 1, which is equal to 1 again. The fourth number will be 1 plus 1, 2. And then we have 1 plus 2, it is equal to 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. 3 plus 5 is 8, 5 plus 8 is 13, 8 plus 13 is 21, 13 plus 21 is 34, and in this way we have the top 10 numbers in our Fibonacci series. Now guys, what we have done over here is, first of all we have printed the first number over here, and then after that we have the comma. So we have found the next num, that is first num plus second num, which was 0 plus 1, which is equal to 1 in this case. And then what we have done is, the first num, which was already printed over here as 0, we reassigned that first number by using the second number, which was 1 over here. So now in this case our first number has become 1, and our second number is equal to next num, which was found by the addition of first number plus second number, which was this number. So our first number became 1 and second number became 1 over here, and when the control flow comes back again, the first number is printed, which is equal to 1 in this case, and next time the first number second number is what? 1 plus 1, which is equal to 2, and then again the first number becomes 1 and the second number becomes 2, and we find the next number, that is equal to 3, and so on. So guys, in this way we can easily write our Fibonacci series over here. Let me just put n is equal to 20 in this case so that we can find the top 20 numbers in our Fibonacci series. Let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, these are the top 20 numbers. After the 10th number, we have some big numbers over here. So 21 plus 34 is equal to 55, 34 plus 55 is equal to 89, and so on. The last number is 4181, which is the sum of 1597 and 2584. Let us verify this in our calculator. So over here in the calculator, if we add these numbers 1597 and then plus we have 2584 and then equal to, as we can see, 4181 is the next number, and that is what is being displayed in our Fibonacci series. So guys, in this way we can easily write a Java program for displaying the Fibonacci series up to the n numbers that we want. Java program for factorial using scanner and recursion. So guys, a factorial of n is the product of all positive descending integers. So over here, factorial of n is denoted by n and then exclamation mark. So as you can see, for examples, the 4 factorial will be 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiply by 1. So up to 1 we have to multiply all the numbers in order to find the factorial of a number. It will be equal to 24. Again 5 factorial, it will be 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiply by 1. So guys, the multiplication of all the positive numbers, all the numbers that are less than the number that we want to find the factorial of, will be the result of our factorial of that number. So guys, let us write this Java program over here in the Eclipse IDE. We can either use the simple for loop in order to find the factorial of a number, or we can use the recursion as well. In this case, we are going to use the recursion and we are going to use the scanner class in order to take the number from the user. So first of all, we are going to declare the number, that is int number, and this number will be provided by the user. So we will ask the user to enter the number over here. So enter the number and then we have colon, and we are going to define the scanner object. So scanner sc, it is equal to new scanner over here, and then we have system.in inside this parenthesis. So guys, this scanner class is responsible in order to take the input from the user, and that input will be stored inside this number variable. So we will have another line of code, that is number, it is equal to sc followed by dot next int. So guys, this sc.nextInt is responsible in order to take the number from the user, and this entered number will be assigned to this number variable. Now guys, we can write an additional function over here which will return the integer in the form of the factorial result. So we have int factorial, and it will take one parameter which will be equal to n over here. So int n, for which we will be finding the factorial. Now the logic behind finding the factorial is, first of all we need to check whether n is equal to 1 or not. So if n it is equal to 1, we have to return 1 in this case. So what I will do is, we will say return 1. Now guys, if n is not equal to 1, the control flow will go to the next line and it will simply return n multiply by factorial of n minus 1. So we are calling this method once again from inside this method body. So guys, this is the main functionality of the recursion. So recursion means calling the function from the function body itself. So that is what we are doing in this case. Now what we are doing exactly over here is, let's say the entered number is 1 over here. So we will call this factorial function, and the integer n, it is equal to 1. In this case, n is equal to 1. Yes, in this case it will simply return 1. So the answer will be 1 because 1 factorial is 1. Now what if the entered number is 2? So the parameter for the factorial method will be 2 over here. So is n equal to 1? No, in this case. So it will go over here, it will check return n multiplied by factorial of n minus 1. Now guys, before returning this, first of all the expression needs to be calculated. So n will be 2 in this case. So I'll write it over here so that you can understand it properly. So n will be 2 in this case, multiply by, it will be factorial of n minus 1. So I'll simply copy this over here, in which case n is equal to 2 now, and over here inside the bracket it will be factorial of 2 minus 1, which is 1. Now what will happen is, the factorial of 2 minus 1 will be calculated, which is factorial of 1 in this case. So what is factorial of 1? So when n is equal to 1, the 1 will be returned over here. So this becomes 1 in this case. So basically this will be replaced by 1. So what is 2 multiplied by 1? It is equal to 2. So 2 will be returned by our factorial function, and that is how the factorial will be calculated. What if the number is 4? So basically initially what will happen is n equal to 1? No, in this case. So n multiplied by factorial of n minus 1 will be returned. So what is n right now? It is 4. But before calculating this expression, we need to find factorial of n minus 1, where n is equal to 4. So factorial of 4 minus 1, it will be equal to 3. Next time the control flow will come over here, n will be equal to 3, and in this case factorial of 2 will be found, and then next time n it will be equal to 2 again, and factorial of 1 will be found. And as you know, factorial of 1 is what? It is 1. So 2 multiplied by 1 is 2 over here. So 2 will be returned and it will be replaced over here. So 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. So 6 will be returned and it will be replaced by factorial of 3 over here. So it will be 6, and then 6 multiplied by 4 is 24. So 24 will be returned to the main method, and that is what is being displayed over here. 4 factorial is 24, and that is how the Java program of factorial will work. So we just need to call the factorial method over here. So what we will do is int answer, it is equal to factorial, and then what we will pass is this number that is entered by user. So I'll just copy this and paste this over here, and then what we will do is we will have to print the answer over here. So I'll say factorial of this number that is entered by user, number is, and then we have answer over here. So guys, let me just save this file now and try running this code. So it is saying errors exist in required project. Let me just see what is the error. So it is showing a red underline over here. It says cannot make a static reference to the non-static method factorial int. Now guys, why it is showing this error? That's because we are calling this factorial method from the main method, which is a static method. So whatever method that we are calling from a static method must also be a static method which we have not defined in this case. So what I will simply do is I will come over here. I'll say change factorial to static. So this static keyword was used before this int factorial method. So guys, let me just save this file now and try running this code. So as you can see, enter the number. I'll say 4 and then press enter. It says factorial of 4 is 24, and that is what we have seen. The factorial of 4 is 24. Let me just run this file once again, and then I'll enter 5. It says factorial of 5 is 120, and that is the answer. Let me just check in the calculator once again. What will happen is 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1 equal to, it is 120. Now what will be the factorial of 8? So let me just run this code once again, and I'll say 8 over here, and let me press enter. It is 40,320. Let us verify the same thing once again. So 5 factorial is 120. We just need to multiply the next 3 numbers, that is multiply by 6, multiply by 7, multiply by 8, and then equal to, it says 40,320. What will be the factorial of 10? Let me just run this code once again. Enter the number as 10. So it says 3628800. So let me just multiply this number by 9. That's because the previous number was factorial of 8, and then we have multiply by 10. So equal to, it is 3628,800. The same number is being displayed over here. So guys, in this way we can easily write the Java program in order to find the factorial of a number that is entered by the user. Java program for palindrome number. Now guys, a palindrome number is a number that is the same after reversing the number. So as you can see, for example, the original number is 545, and when we reverse this number, it will be again 545, and in this case both the numbers are equal, and that is when we say that the number is a palindrome number. Some other examples are 151, then we have 34543, then we have 343, 171, 48984. So all these numbers are palindrome numbers. You can also see that some of the strings such as lol, what is the full form of this lol? Comment below, and this madam as well. Both these strings are the palindrome strings. So guys, let us write a Java program in order to find whether the entered number is a palindrome number or not. So let me move to Eclipse IDE over here. So first of all, we are going to have the variable that is number, which is going to be entered by the user. So we have the print statement over here, and we'll say enter the number. So user will enter the number over here, which can be entered by using the scanner class. So we have the SC object followed by new operator, and then we have the scanner constructor over here. So we have scanner constructor and system.in, which will be responsible in order to take the input from the user on the console. So over here, number, it is equal to sc dot next int. So guys, this line of code is responsible in order to take the input from the user and store that input into the number variable. Now what we will do is we will check whether the entered number is a palindrome or not. So guys, what is the logic behind finding whether the entered number is a palindrome number or not? So let's say for example over here we have taken the number as 545. The logic behind finding whether this number is palindrome or not, we have to get the last number, that is 5, by using the remainder operator. So once we have found the 5, we will assign the number to another variable that will be 5. Then the next number will be 54 by using the divide operator. So over here we will find the last digit, which will be equal to 4 in this case. So once we have extracted this 5 number, we have the next number that will be 4 by using the remainder operator, and this 4 should be appended over here after 5, which will be 4 over here now. And then after removing this, the last number, which is 5, we have to remove this from here and add it over here as 5. So guys, how do we do this in Java? Let us check. So let us have few variables over here. The first variable will be reversed number. So we have reversed number over here. So guys, this is the original number, that is number, and we will store the reverse of this number inside this reversed number variable. And let's say we have another variable as the temp variable, which will be storing the original number initially, and this temp variable we will be using in order to carry out our operations. So over here, after this we will have the while loop, and we will check whether this temp number, which is originally the number that is entered by the user, if it is greater than 0. So we have temp, is it greater than 0? If so, then it will go inside the while loop, and what it will do is it will find out the remainder. So we will have int remainder over here. What will be remainder? It will be temp %10. So we will find the last digit of the number and store it inside this remainder, and then we have the semicolon over here. Now guys, after storing this remainder, what we will do is we will have to append this inside this reverse number. So guys, a reverse number should be initially 0 so that we can store the remainder inside this reversed number. So what we will have to do is over here we will say reversed number once again, it is equal to reversed number. We have to first multiply it by 10 and then we have to add the remainder. Guys, why so? That's because see, initially the reverse number is 0. So 0 multiplied by 10 will be 0, and then it will just add the remainder. So the very first time when the control flow comes inside this while loop, the remainder of the number, that is the last digit, will be added as the first digit with the form of this remainder to the reversed number. Next time when the last digit is coming once again from the temp, now how the last digit will come? We will have to change the temp number from temp equal to temp divided by 10. So in this case the last digit will be removed from the temp and it was already given to the reversed number. Next time when the control flow is coming back again, the remainder, that will be the last digit, will be found, and then that remainder will be added. But how? By first multiplying the first number by 10 and then adding the remainder. So guys, this is the logic behind finding the reverse of the number. Ultimately this temp's value should be less than 0 to come out of this while loop. So guys, in case you have any confusion regarding this logic, I'll explain you once again with the help of example after running this code. So after this while loop, what we will do is we will have to check whether this reversed number is equal to this number that was entered by the user or not. So we will simply say if number is equal to reversed number, and then if so, then we will have the print statement that number is palindrome, or else we will have another statement over here in the else part. So if it is not equal, that is number is not equal to reverse number, then number is not palindrome. So guys, let me just save this file now and try running this code. So as you can see, enter the number, it is asking the user to enter the number. So we will say the same example, that is 545, and then when I press enter, it is saying number is palindrome. Now guys, what is happening over here? As you can see, reversed number is 0. Temp is number right now. So inside this temp we have 545. So over here what I will do is, let's say we have the temp variable which is 545 right now. So what we are doing is remainder, it is equal to 10% 10, which means we are getting the last digit. So in this case, our remainder, it will be equal to 5. That's because 545% 10 will give us this last digit right now. So remainder is 5, and then reversed number, it is equal to reverse number multiplied by 10 plus remainder. Right now the reversed number is what? 0. So 0 multiplied by 10 is what? 0, plus remainder will be what? Remainder's value is 5 right now. So our reversed number will be equal to 5 in this case. And then when the control flow comes over here, temp equal to temp divided by 10. So our temp is what? 545 divided by 10 will give us 54. So this last digit will be removed. So ultimately what we have done is the last digit was removed and it was provided to this reversed number. Now next time when the control flow comes over here back again, the remainder will be 10% 10, in which case this temp is 54 and 54% 10 will give us 4 now. So remainder will become 4. And now since the reversed number is 5, what will happen is in this next line, reversed number which is 5 multiplied by 10 will be 50 plus remainder which is 4 right now. So it will be 50 plus 4 which is equal to 54. So over here the reverse number will become 54. And then the next line, temp equal to temp divided by 10. So 54 divided by 10 will leave us with the number that is 5. Next time the remainder will be temp% 10. The temp value is 5 right now, percent 10 will be equal to 5. So over here we will get the value as 5. Reversed number will be 54 multiplied by 10. So this reverse number multiplied by 10 will be 540 plus remainder which is 5 right now. So 540 plus 5 will be equal to 545. So 5 will come over here. And then the next line of code, that is temp, is equal to temp divided by 10. So 5 divided by 10 will be equal to 0. And now since the temp's value is 0, the control flow will come over here once again. It will check, is temp greater than 0? No in this case. So the control flow will come out of this while loop. So guys, using this logic inside the while loop, we can easily write the Java program to find whether a number is a palindrome or not. Additionally, we can also write over here the reversed number as well. So we have reversed number and then colon, and we can simply say reversed number over here so that we come to know what is the reverse number, and the reverse number that was calculated will be simply compared with the original number. Let me just save this file and try running this code once again. This time what we will do is we will give the second number, that is 151. I'll provide the input as 151 over here. As you can see, reverse number is again 151, so the number is palindrome. Let me just run this code once again. What I will do is I will simply provide the number as 1234, in which case the reverse number will be 4321. So are both the numbers equal? No in this case. So let me just press enter. It says reversed number, it is 4321, and number is not a palindrome. So since a reverse number is not equal to the original number, the number is not a palindrome in this case. Let me just run this code once again. I'll say 1234 and then again 4321. So these are the 8 digits. We will reverse this and compare it with the original number. It says reverse number, it is 1234 4321. So both the numbers are equal, and that is why number is palindrome is getting printed. So guys, this is the Java program in order to find whether the entered number is a palindrome or not. Java program for Armstrong number. So guys, an Armstrong number is a positive m digit number that is equal to the sum of the mth powers of their digits. So guys, this is little bit complex to understand. So let us understand this with the help of examples. So as you can see, this is the number 1. So what we have to do is we have to find the number of digits in a number. In this case it is 1, and this same number to the power of the number of digits in this number, which is 1 raised to 1, it is equal to 1. In the next case, that is when the number is 2, the number that is 2 to the power of the number of digits, that is 1. So 2 raised to 1, it is 2, and then again 3 raised to 1, it is 3. Now there is a 3 digit number over here. So what we have to do is, first of all we need to count the number of digits in a number, that is 3 in this case, and then we have to do 1 to the power of 3 and then plus 5 to the power of 3 and then plus 3 to the power of 3, and the sum of all these numbers, that is, as you can see, 1 raised to 3 is 1, 5 raised to 3 is 125, and 3 raised to 3 is 27, and the sum of all these numbers is 153. So is this number equal to the original number? If yes, then this number is an Armstrong number. Another example over here, 125. The sum of all these numbers, that is 1 raised to 3, 2 raised to 3 and 5 raised to 3, it is equal to 134, and since it is not equal to 125, so this is not an Armstrong number. And guys, I have given a couple of more examples over here. So let us move to the Eclipse IDE and see how we can write a program. So first of all, we will declare a number which will be taken by the user in order to check whether the entered number is an Armstrong number or not. So we have int number, and we are going to use the scanner class in order to take the input from the user. So we have scanner sc, it is equal to new scanner, that is the constructor, and we are going to use the system.n as the parameter in order to take the input from the console. We need to ask the user in order to provide the number. So we'll say enter number and then colon, and then user will enter the number which should be assigned to the number variable over here. So number, it is equal to sc followed by dot next int. So guys, this line of code over here is responsible in order to take the input from the user and assign it to the number variable. Now in order to find the Armstrong number, we are going to define a function which is going to return a Boolean value. So what we will do is we will provide a function over here. Since we are going to call that function using the static void main, we have to define the function as the static function over here. It is going to return the type, that is Boolean, and I'm going to name this method as is Armstrong. So this method is going to return true or false based on the result, whether the entered number is an Armstrong number or not. Over here it is going to take the int n as the parameter, which is going to be the number that is entered by the user. So first of all, we need to find the number of digits in this number that is entered by the user, that is n. So what we will do is we will define the variable that is int digits over here, and in order to find the number of digits, we will use the while loop. Now inside the while loop, we will also have to use the condition whether this number is greater than 0. So we are going to take the temp as the variable over here, and initially we will say temp is equal to n, so that we store the value of n in the temp variable. And then over here inside the while loop, we are going to check whether this temp is greater than 0. So guys, if it is greater than 0, the control flow will go inside this while loop and it will check how many number of digits are present. So initially we will keep the digits as 0 over here. So what we will do is we will do temp is equal to temp divided by 10. So guys, this operation over here, that is the divide operator, is being used in order to remove the last digit from the number. So for example, let's say if we provide the number as 153, so 153 divided by 10 will give us 15. So the last digit will be removed, and that count of the digit we will add inside our digits variable. So over here, after this operation, we will do digits plus plus. So we have digits equal to 1 in this case, and similarly the control flow will go to the while loop once again, and it will check whether the temp is greater than 0, and ultimately we will find the number of digits in the number that is entered by the user. So what we will do is we will say number of digits over here in order to confirm whether the digits count is correct or not. So we have number of digits, and then we will simply display the number of digits inside the number that is entered by the user. Now guys, since we have found the number of digits, we simply have to use the power method inside the math library and find the sum of all the numbers raised to the power of the number of digits that we have already found. So we are going to have another variable over here. We will say int sum. It is initially 0 in our case. So what we will do is we will again assign the original number, that is n, to the temp variable over here, and then again we will go through each and every digit. So over here we are going to check whether temp is greater than 0 or not. So we need to get each digit from this temp variable now. So what we can do is we can provide another variable, that is last digit. We are going to start from the last digit over here, and we will simply say temp %10. So in this case we will get the last digit. In our case, let's say if the example is 153, we will get 3 in this case. So once we get this 3, we need to do 3 raised to the number of digits that we have already found, that was 3 over here. So in this case we are going to use the math library over here. As you can see, Eclipse is suggesting us the math library from the java.lang package. So we are going to use this library followed by dot, and then we have the method that is POW, that stands for the power. It takes 2 parameters. So the first parameter is going to be the digit. So this last digit that we have already found, we are going to use this, and then the second parameter will be the raised to the power that we want to use. So it is going to be this digits number, that is the number of digits in the number that we have already entered. So I'll just copy this and paste this over here. So this will find us the 3 raised to the power of 3, and the result should be added to the sum variable. So what we will do is the sum variable, it is equal to sum plus these numbers. Now we are getting a red underline over here. It says add cast to int. That's because the result of this math.power function is a double. So we will simply select this add cast to int over here, so that typecasting is done over here. Now we need to find the next last digit, and that is 5 over here. So how do we find that? We need to reduce the temp variable to 15 in this case. So how do we reduce that to 15? So we say temp, it is equal to temp divided by 10. So this time we use the divide operator in order to reduce the number, and then next time when the control flow comes over here, and then the last digit, it will be equal to 5 in this case. That's because 15% 10 will be 5, and then again the last digit will be 5 over here, and then raised to the digits, that was 3. So 5 raised to 3, the sum will be added back again to the sum variable, and then again temp will be reduced to 1. That will be the last number in our entered number in this case. And then guys, ultimately when the temp value is less than 0, the control flow will come out of this loop, and we just need to check whether this sum is equal to the entered number, that was n, or not. So what we will do is we will simply have the if condition. If sum is equal to n, then we simply have to do return true, since this is the Armstrong number. And if it is not equal, ultimately we just need to say return false in this case. So guys, over here we have completed our is Armstrong method, and we just need to call this method along with the entered number over here in order to check whether the entered number is an Armstrong number or not. So what we will do is we will have the print statement over here, and I'll say is Armstrong number, and then we will simply call this method which is going to return true or false. So I'm going to say is Armstrong, and then inside the parameters I'm going to pass this number that was entered by the user. So I'll paste this number variable. Now guys, let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, enter number is being printed. So user will provide the number. So let's say for example we provide the first number as 1, and we press enter. It says number of digits, it is equal to 1. And is it the Armstrong number? Yes, in this case, because 1 raised to 1, it is 1, and the sum of all the digits in this number raised to the number of digits is equal. So this is the Armstrong number. Let us run this code once again. We will check for the number, that is 153. So it says number of digits, it is 3 over here. Is Armstrong number true? Guys, we will do one more thing over here. I will print the sum that we have calculated over here. So what we can do is, after this while loop, we will provide sum variable. So sum is, and then followed by sum, so that we come to know what the calculated sum is. And then I'll save this file and try running this code now. I'll give the same example once again. 153, it says number of digits, it is 3, and the sum is 153. So original number is equal to the sum, and that is why Armstrong number is true. Now let me give another example over here. Let's say I provide 154 as the original number. It says number of digits is 3 once again, but sum is 190 in this case. And since 190 is not equal to 154, it is not an Armstrong number. Is Armstrong number is coming as false. So guys, let us check another example. 1634, which is an Armstrong number. So over here, I'll run this code once again. I'll enter the number as 1634. And then as you can see, number of digits, it is 4 in this case. Sum is 1634. Is Armstrong number true? Let us give another example. Over here, this is a big number, 1741725. I'll just copy this number. I'll run this code once again over here and enter number. I'll provide this number. it says number of digits, it is 7. We have 7 digits in this case, and the sum is 1741725, which is same as the number that we have originally entered, and this is an Armstrong number, so Armstrong number is coming as true. So guys, in this way we can easily write our method in order to check whether the entered number is an Armstrong number or not. Java program to print a right triangle star pattern. Guys, this is one of the important Java programs as it can be asked in the interview questions as well. So we are going to see the right triangle star pattern, and as you can see, this is the star pattern that we are going to implement and write a Java program for. So first of all, in the first row we have 1 star, and then in the second row we have 2 stars, and then 3, and then 4. So we are going to take the number of rows from the user as the input, and that many rows we are going to draw the star pattern for. So guys, what is the algorithm for pattern programs? So basically each pattern program has 2 or more than 2 loops. In this case we are going to use only 2 loops over here. Now the number of loop depends on the complexity of a pattern or a logic. So basically this is a very simple pattern that we are going to see, but it depends on your pattern, like what will be the complexity and what is the algorithm. The first for loop works for the row, that is the number of rows. As you can see, this is 1 2 3 4. So guys, horizontally these are called as rows, and the second loop works for the column. So vertically these stars, that is 1 2 3 and then 4. So these stars, this is the first column, then we have this second column, then we have the third column, and then the fourth column. So basically both the for loops work in this way. The first for loop, that is the outer for loop, will be representing the rows, and the second for loop, that will be inner for loop, will be representing the column. So guys, let us move to the Eclipse IDE and draw this right triangle star pattern. So over here I'm going to define a variable, that is rows over here. Now this rows will be taken by the user, which will be the number of rows in which the star pattern needs to be drawn. So what we will do is we will ask the user to enter rows. So we have enter rows over here in the print statement, and then we will be using our scanner class in order to take the input from the user. So we have scanner sc, it is equal to new operator followed by scanner constructor, and inside this the parameter will be system.in. So we have system.in so that user can provide the input on the console. So over here the rows will be assigned to the input that is provided by the user, which is equal to sc followed by dot, and then we have next int. So guys, this line is responsible in order to assign the entered number, that is entered by the user, to the rows variable. Now using this rows variable we will be drawing our star pattern. So we have 2 for loops over here. The first for loop, it will go as int I, it is equal to 0 up to I less than rows over here, because in that many rows we have to draw the star pattern, and then I plus plus, and the main algorithm will be inside our outer loop. So over here inside the outer loop we will have another loop that will be called as inner loop over here. So int j, it is going from 0 up to j less than I. So guys, in the first case what will happen is, since I it is 0, j will also go from 0 up to the ith value, that is 0, and then in the next case I it is equal to 1, so j will go from 0 to 1 in this case, so 0 and 1. So 2 star characters need to be printed over here, and so on up to the number of rows that is entered by the user. So over here j it is equal to 0 up to j less than I, and then we have j plus plus. Guys, this condition needs to be less than or equal to, so that when I is equal to 0, j is equal to also 0, and it goes up to I, which is again 0. So the correct condition is less than or equal to over here. And then inside this inner for loop we will have our print statement, and this time the method will be just print, because we need to print the star characters on the same line when it is on the same row. So we have star and then followed by the space character, so that multiple star characters can be printed after separated by the space character. And then guys, after this inner loop, what we will do is on the next row, so once the first row is being printed over here by this inner loop, what we will do is we will have to go on the next line. So over here I will simply provide the print statement over here with the help of println. This will help us in order to go to the next line on our console. So guys, just by using these 6 lines of code, we are going to have our star pattern based on the number of rows that is entered by the user. Let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, it is asking for enter rows. First of all, we will enter 4 as the number of rows. I'll press enter. As you can see, this is the star pattern with the number of rows as 4. So the same star pattern we had decided to draw over here, it is same as this star pattern over here. Let us say I want to run this code once again with the number of rows as 10 this time. So I'll provide 10 as the number of rows. As you can see, this is the star pattern over here. So it is having 10 number of rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So guys, it completely depends on the logic that we have provided in the two loops over here, that is the outer loop and the inner loop, and whatever conditions that we provide, based on that we can draw different patterns over here. So guys, please make sure that you practice on your own, so that on different conditions that you provide inside the for loop, you can see the different patterns on the console. Java program to sort an array in the ascending order. So guys, the elements will be sorted in such a way that is the smallest element will appear on the extreme left. So this is the meaning of sorting an array in the ascending order, an array of elements which is of the data type that is numbers. So let's say for example, we have this original array that is 5, 2, 8, 7, 1. So these are the numbers which are not in ascending order. We need to sort them in the ascending order. So after the array is sorted in the ascending order, as you can see, these are the numbers in this sequence, that is 1, 2, 5, 7, 8. So the smallest number will be on the extreme left, then the next small number will be on the right, then the next small number will be again on the right, and so on. So this is the ascending order that we want to have using our Java program. So guys, let us switch to Eclipse IDE over here and write the program in order to sort an array. We will be basically using the two loops in order to sort the array in the ascending order. So first of all, we will be defining our array. So int array, and then we have open and close square brackets, and then we will initialize this array. We will take the same example over here. So 5, 2, 8, 7, 1. We will provide these numbers over here. 5, 2, 8, 7, 1. Guys, you can also use the scanner or buffered reader classes in order to take the input from the user and assign those input to the array over here, and the process will be same, the algorithm will be same in order to sort the array. So basically over here what we are going to do is, first of all we will print the original array over here, so that before sorting we will be able to check what is the content of the array. So we have the print statement over here, and I will say original array, and then colon over here, and then we will be using the for loop in order to iterate through all the elements of the array. So inside the for loop we have int I, it is equal to 0, I less than array followed by dot, and then we have something called as length in order to find the number of elements in this array, and then we have I plus plus, and then inside this loop we will be having our print statement. This time we will be using the print method instead of println, so that we get all the elements on one line. So basically what we have to do over here is we have to refer to this array followed by open and close square brackets, and inside the brackets we are providing this I variable which is iterating through all the elements inside the array, followed by the space character, so that all the elements can be space separated. Now after this we are going to have our algorithm in order to sort the array. So guys, we will be having two for loops over here. The first for loop will be the outer for loop, in which case int I is 0, and then I less than the array length. So we have array dot length over here, and then I plus plus. So outer loop goes through each and every element starting from the index 0, and inside this we will be having another loop, that is the inner loop, in which case int j, it will be equal to I plus 1, which means that I will be 5 initially and the jth value will be I plus 1, which means 2 initially. So every time using the outer loop will be fixed on one particular number, and the inner loop, that is j, will go to each and every number. So first 2 will be checked, and we need to check whether this 2 is it smaller than the first element, that is 5 or not. If yes, then we need to replace them, and then again it will go to 8 and it will check whether this 8 is less than the first element or not, in which case it will be 2 after replacing this 2, and so on. We have to check all the elements one by one. So over here j is equal to I plus 1, and then j goes up to the array length, that is array dot length over here, and then j plus plus. Now guys, inside this we need to check if this array of j, which means the second element, is it smaller than array of I. So we will put the condition over here, array of j, is it less than array of I. So in this case, if array of j is less than array of I, which means that the smallest number should come first over here, we need to interchange the numbers over here. So what we can do is we can have the temporary variable. So I'll just define the temp variable over here, in which case it is 0 right now. So what I will do is I will simply swap the numbers over here. So temp, it is equal to array of I in this case, and then we need to put array of I, it is equal to array of j. So we are just swapping the numbers over here. We are assigning the array of j value to the array of I value, and then again back the array of j value should be given the value of array of I, which was stored in the temporary variable over here. So array of j, it will be equal to temp. So guys, this we have already seen previously while creating the program in order to swap two numbers, and this is the way we will get the smallest number on the leftmost side. So using these lines of code over here, we can simply sort the array of elements in the ascending order. Guys, this is not one of the most optimum way in order to sort the array. It does the job of sorting the array when you are having the small number of elements in your array. In the upcoming videos, we are going to see the optimum ways in order to sort the arrays in the ascending and descending order. So you should subscribe to this channel, that is Programming for Beginners, in order to get more helpful videos about the different Java programs. And now what we will do is, after this for loop, we will simply print the content of the array, which can be done by using these lines of code. So I will just copy these lines of code over here and I'll paste this over here, and I'll say sorted array in this case. So it is sorted array, and then I goes from 0 up to array of length, and then we are going to access all the elements using the array of I element. And now let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, original array, it is 52871, and then sorted array is coming on the same line. What we can do is we can provide the /n character over here so that it comes on the different line. And one more thing that we can do is we can use the print method over here so that the numbers are listed on the same line where the label is present. So over here we will use print statement, and over here as well in the original array we will be using the print method. Let me just save this file and try running this code once again. So as you can see, original array, it is 52871, which is not in the ascending order. Now we are getting the sorted array, that is 1, 2, 5, 7, 8. Let me just put another example over here. We'll change the content of the array. So let's say 32, 45, 6, 87, and then 12, and then let's say we have 1. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, these are the numbers 32, 45, 6, 87, 12, 1, and we are getting the sorted array, that is 1, 6, 12, 32, 45, 87. So guys, as you can see, these are the numbers that are in ascending order, and every number that is on the right is greater than all the numbers that are present on the left, and that is why it is called as the ascending order of the elements. So guys, in this way we can easily write the Java program in order to sort the array in the ascending order. Java program to print pyramid star pattern. So guys, this is the pyramid star pattern. As you can see, we are going to have the number of rows being entered by the user over here, and we are going to print all the stars in the form of a star pattern. So the algorithm for pattern programs, each pattern program has 2 or more than 2 loops. The number of loop depends on the complexity of the pattern or logic. So guys, basically we can draw any star pattern based on our requirements, and it depends on the logic that we have to put inside the outer and the inner loops that we are going to use. Now the first for loop works for the row, and the second for loop, which is the inner loop, works for the column, and we are going to draw this pyramid star pattern. Now guys, what will be the logic? So for example, as you can see, this is having 6 rows over here, and in the last row there are 6 stars over here. Now the very first row, it is having how many number of spaces? So it depends on that. So as you can see, if we count these number of spaces, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So having the 6 rows, on the first row we will be having 5 spaces first of all, and after that we will be having 1 star, and then in the next row it will be how many number of spaces? It is 1, 2, 3, 4. So on the second row it will be 4 number of spaces, and then after that we are having our 2 stars over here, and so on the sequence continues over here. On the third row we have 3 space characters, on the fourth row we have 2 space characters, fifth row we have one space character, and in the sixth row, that is the final row, we don't have any space character. So this is the logic that we have to use in our Java program. So let us move to Eclipse IDE over here, and first of all we will define the variable that is int row. So this number of row you can take from the user, or else you can define it over here. So for simplicity, I'll provide the row as 6 over here, and we are going to draw the pyramid star pattern. So what we will do is, first of all we will have the outer loop. So it will be int I, it is equal to 0, and then I goes up to the value of the row variable over here, that is I less than row, and then we have I plus plus. So guys, it will go from 0 to less than 6, which is 5. So it will be 6 number of rows in our case. Now what we will do is, first of all we need to draw the space characters. It is 5 number of space characters over here on the first row. So what will be the logic? So over here we will be having another for loop, that is int j, it is equal to, in this case we need to take the row. So since we need to draw the 5 space characters over here, it will be equal to row minus I. Since I will be increasing with the time, the space characters needs to be decreased. So row minus I will decrease the number of space characters over here. And then finally, since initially the row value is 6, and 6 minus I, it will be equal to 6 itself. So we need to do minus 1 so that we get the 5 number initially. Now this jth value will be 5 initially, that's because row which is 6 right now, minus I, that is 0 right now initially. 6 minus 0 minus 1 will give us 5. So 5 number of characters we need to draw, and then j will be greater than or equal to 1. So basically j, it will be going from the value that is 5 right now up to the value that is 1. So we will be having the 5 number of space characters. After this we need to decrement the jth value this time, because we are going from the highest value to the lowest value over here. And then inside this loop, what we will do is, we will simply have the space characters using the print statement, since we need all the space characters on single line. So over here we have the space characters. Now after having all the space characters being printed, we want to print this star value. So star is 1 right now. So what we will do is, we will again have another for loop. Again we can use the jth value. That's because the control flow already came out of this loop. So we can use the jth value once again. We cannot use the ith value because the control flow is still inside the outer for loop. So we will be using the jth value once again, and over here what we will do is, j, it is going from 0 up to j less than or equal to I. So the initial case will be I is equal to 0, j is also 0. So j less than or equal to I, meaning only once the control flow will go inside this loop. So if it goes just once, and that is what we need, we just want to go inside the inner loop once, so that we can print this star over here. So j less than or equal to I, and then we have j plus plus, and then inside this again we will be having our statement, and we will be having the print statement once again, because we want all the stars to be printed on single line. So we have star over here, and then we have the space character over here. So guys, the very first time when the control flow comes over here, int I, it will be equal to 0. Is it less than the row value? Yes, in this case. So j value will be equal to 6 minus I, which is equal to 6 once again, and minus 1, which will make it as 5. And then j goes up to greater than or equal to 1. So 5, and then minus 1, which is 4, then 3, then 2, and then 1. So 5 times the control flow will go inside this loop, and the space characters will be printed on the same line. And then after that, on the 6th character, the j will be equal to 0, and j goes up to less than or equal to I, in which case only once the control flow will go inside this, because initially the value of I is 0 over here. So after going just once, this star will get printed over here, and then we need to come out of this loop, and now the control flow will come to the end of this outer loop as well. And after this we need to have the star pattern on the next line. So what we will do is, after this second for loop, we will simply have the println statement, so that the control flow helps us to come on the next line on the console. So guys, when the control flow comes back over here once again, i's value will be 1 after doing I plus plus. So j value will be what now? Row is 6, 6 minus I, which is 1 right now. So 6 minus 1 will be 5, 5 minus 1 will be 4. So 4 times the space characters will be printed over here, and then j is equal to 0, it goes up to less than or equal to I, in which case the i's value is 1 right now. So control flow will come 2 times over here, that's because j is equal to 0. Next time j is equal to 1, and it is yes equal to I right now. So it will come once again second time, but third time it will come out of the loop. So only twice this star character will get printed, and that is what we want over here. The star characters should be printed twice. The space characters will be 4 in this case. So guys, let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, we have got the pyramid star pattern over here. As you can see, we have 6 number of rows over here, and that is how we have created the simple Java program in order to print the star pattern. So let us put the row number 10 over here so that we get the 10 number of rows in our case. Let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, we are already having 10 rows over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And guys, this is the way we can easily write our Java program in order to print the pyramid star pattern depending on the number of rows that we want. Guys, apart from this, if you have any other star pattern to be printed, it just depends on your logic, what logic you put inside these for loops, and ultimately you will be able to draw any star pattern that you want to draw. Java program to generate random numbers. Now guys, in Java there are multiple ways to generate random numbers using the methods and classes. So as you can see, one of the ways is using the random method which belongs to the math library. The another way is using the random class. So this random class we are going to check in this particular video. Now we have another way, that is using the thread local random class, and another way in order to use the ins method in Java 8. So guys, basically we are going to use this random class in order to generate some random numbers which can be very helpful based on your requirements. So guys, let us move to the Eclipse IDE over here, and the random numbers that we are going to generate will be belonging to the integers. So over here I will simply provide the int number variable. Now what we have to do is we have to provide the random class. So as you can see, random class over here, Eclipse IDE is suggesting us some classes. So the first class, that is the random, that is belonging to the java.util package, is the class that we can use. And then this random class, we can have the object called as random and then equal to new random, so that we can instantiate this object over here. Now guys, in order to generate a random number over here, we can simply use the random object in this case. So as you can see, if we provide this random object over here followed by dot, we can have multiple methods that can be used. It can also help us in order to provide some random double values as well. Then we have random integer values, we have long values as well, and then we have boolean and then bytes and so on. So the important thing that we have to do is we are going to provide next int. So next int, there are multiple methods. Based on the method overloading, it is having different kind of parameters. The first method is not having any parameter. The second method is having one parameter, which is the int bound, which means we are providing a particular limit up to which the random number needs to be generated. And then we also have two parameters, which is asking for origin and the bound as well. So if we use this first method over here, it is simply going to generate a random integer value, and we need to assign that random integer value to a particular variable, in which case we will be using this number variable over here. So I'll just copy this number variable and then I'll assign this random dot next int to this number variable, and now we simply need to print this number. So over here I'll provide generated number is followed by colon, and then we have number over here. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, generated number is 525938489. So guys, this is a little bit long number, but this is how the random class will work. It will generate any number every time that you run this code. So even if I run this code once again, you will get some other number over here. So let me just run this code once again. As you can see, you are getting some other number once again. Let me just run this code once again. You're getting a negative number right now. And so this is the way you can generate the random numbers. Guys, apart from this, let's say you want to provide a certain limit to the random numbers that is being generated. So you can provide some number over here. Let's say we only want the numbers from 0 to 99. So the upper limit will be 100 in this case. So when we provide this 100 as the parameter to our next int method, the random object will now know that we just need the number between 0 to 99, and that is what we are going to get. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, we are getting 20 right now, which is a small number. So after running this code once again, I'm getting 56. Let me run this code once again now. So we are getting 30. So we are getting all the numbers within 0 to 99. So guys, this is very important in case you are building an application wherein you're using the numbers from the dice. So let's say you are building a Ludo game or any other game, then it is very important that you can use the random class in order to generate the random numbers of the dice. So in which case the dice is having the numbers from 1 to 6. So what we can do is next int we can provide the number as 6 over here, and since the random number also generates the number 0, we can always use number plus 1 in order to get the numbers from 1 to 6. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, we are getting 3. So on one instance, we can get the number on the dice as 3. On the other instance, we can get the number as 2 and so on. So we are running this code multiple times over here. We are getting all the numbers within 6, 5. And then as you can see, we have got 0 right now, but there is no number as 0 on the dice. So what we can do is we can simply do number plus 1 in this case. So we will do number plus 1. So even if we get 0, 1 will be added and we will get 1 in this case. But the generated number will never include this limit that we have applied over here. It is always this number minus 1. So the maximum number will be 5 in our case. And even if 5 is generated, number plus 1 will make it as 6, and that is the maximum number on the dice. Let me just save this file and try running this code now multiple times. As you can see, generated number is 1. In this case, the number was 0 and then we added 1 again. So the 1 number is from the dice. Let me just run this code once again. We are getting 1, then 3, and 4, 2, 5, 5, 1, 3, 4, and so on. So guys, this is one of the important classes, that is the random class, that you can use in order to generate the random numbers based on your requirements. Guys, apart from this, if you see, there are some more methods inside this random object. So when we provide random followed by a dot, and then we have next, as you can see, we have next boolean which will give us either true or false. Then we have next double. So if you want to generate some double values, you can use this next double as well. We have next float as well. We have next Gaussian and so on. So guys, there are multiple methods that you can explore, and based on your requirements, you can use them accordingly. Java program to sort numbers using bubble sort algorithm. Now guys, the bubble sort is the simplest sorting algorithm that works by repeatedly swapping the adjacent elements if they are in the wrong order. So basically we are going to repeatedly take adjacent elements and check whether they are in the wrong order or not and swap them. Now this algorithm is suitable for small data sets, since due to its time and space complexities, we are going to use this bubble sort algorithm on the small data set. So for example, as you can see, this is the input array. We are going to have 5, 1, 4, 2, 8 as the unsorted order of the array of elements, and we are going to sort them in such a way that all the elements are in the ascending order. So how this algorithm works? So basically we are going to start with the first index as I and the second index, that is j, and we are going to compare both these elements, whether this one is it less than 5. If yes, then we are going to swap these elements between each other, and then the second element, which will be 5 in this case, will be checked with the third element, which is 4, and if 5 is greater than 4, then again we will swap, and so on. So ultimately guys, after the first iteration of the outer loop, the highest number will be present on the last index over here, and in this way we are going to have all the elements in the ascending order inside this array. So let us move to the Eclipse IDE in order to write the bubble sort algorithm program. So first of all, we are going to define the array of elements over here. So array of integer values, we are going to take the same example over here. So over here, as you can see, we have taken this example. I'll simply copy and paste this over here as the content of the array. Now what we are going to do is, first of all, we are going to find the length of this array so that we don't have to find the length of the array again and again while we are iterating through our loops. So basically it is equal to array followed by dot, and then we have something called as length property over here. So this will give us the length of the entire array, that is the number of elements present inside this array. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to have the outer for loop in such a way that int I, it is equal to 0 and I goes up to less than the length, that is we have already found this length over here, and then I plus plus. So basically we are going to iterate through all the elements right from the first position to the last position in order to sort them in the ascending order. Now inside this, what we are going to have is, we are going to have another loop, and we are going to have the jth index over here. So j, it goes from 1 up to j less than length of the array minus I. So we have to take the length of the array minus I, and then it will go to the next element, that is j plus plus. Now guys, why do we need length minus I over here? That's because after the first iteration of the outer loop, what will happen is we will have the highest element at the end of the array over here. So in the second iteration, we don't want that last integer to be taken in order to compare with the other elements, or else it will result in a non-optimized code over here. And that is why we are limiting the index of the j up to which it should go whenever we are traversing the array of elements over here. Now what we will do is, over here we are going to have the if condition. Now I it is equal to 0 and j is equal to 1 over here, which means j is at the second element right now. So what I am going to do is, I will check whether array of j minus 1, which means the previous element over here, is it greater than the current element, that is j, or not. So I will do over here greater than array of j. So in this case, is 5 greater than 1? We are checking this condition. So if yes, then 5 needs to be swapped with this one element over here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to have the integer temp variable over here, and I will say array of j, which means I am storing the array of j value, that is 1, inside this temporary variable, and then I will assign this value, that is 5, that is array of j minus 1, to array of j over here. So we have array of j, it is equal to array of j minus 1, and then the temporary variable which is having the element 1, we need to assign it to the array of j minus 1 over here. So we will do array of j minus 1, it is equal to temp. So guys, this we had seen previously as well. How do we swap the two elements? By using a temporary variable over here. So what will happen is, in the first iteration of the outer for loop, 5 will be swapped with this one element over here. So it will be 1, 5, 4, 2, 8. Next time again, the j plus plus will make the value of j as 2 now, and then what we will do is, array of j minus 1, which is 5 right now after swapping in the previous iteration, it will be compared with array of j, which is 4 right now, and again it will be swapped. So it will be 4 and then 5 over here in this case, and then again it will be compared with 2. So 5 will come over here, and then 5 will be compared with 8 finally, in which case 5 is not greater than 8. So the control flow will not go inside this if loop, and since we have reached the end of the loop, it will also come out of this inner loop, and then i's value will become 1 right now, and then in the end we have placed the highest number at the end of the array, and in this way the bubble sort algorithm will work. So guys, let me just save this file and try running this code now. And before running this code, we have to print this content of the array as well. So what I will do is, simply we will have another for loop where int I, it is equal to 0, and I goes up to the length of the array over here, and then we have I plus plus. Now I want to print the content of the array. So what I will do is, I will simply use the print function over here. So instead of println, we will use the print statement, so that we get the content of the entire array in a single line separated by space characters. So we have sorted array, it is, and then what I will do is, I will use array and then the index, that is I, and then separated by space characters over here. So we have space character. Let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, we are getting multiple sorted array labels over here. So I'll just remove this label outside of this print statement. So I'll just remove this, and I have print statement over here once again. So we will have the print statement over here, and I'll say sorted array over here, and this inverted comma as well. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, sorted array, it is 1, 2, 4, 5, 8. So we are getting the sorted array. I will also print the unsorted array that we had previously taken over here. So I'll provide unsorted array over here, unsorted array, and then again we are printing the unsorted array first, and then after that we are going to have the sorted array. So before this, what I will do is, I will simply have the println statement, so that the sorted array is printed on the new line over here. So as you can see, unsorted array, it is 5, 1, 4, 2, 8, and the sorted array we are getting as 1, 2, 4, 5, 8. Let me just change the content of this array. So I'll provide some other numbers over here. So let's say 32, 12, 34, 56, 31, and then 23, and then 1. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, this is the unsorted array that we have provided as the input in this array, and now we are getting the sorted array as 1, 12, 23, 31, 32, 34, 56. So guys, this is the way you can write a couple of for loops over here in order to use the bubble sort algorithm, which will help in order to sort the array of integers based on your requirements. So, Java program to print a diamond shaped star pattern. So guys, as you can see, this is the diamond shaped star pattern over here. So if I scroll down over here, as you can see, this is the diamond shape and this is the star pattern that we are going to draw in our Eclipse IDE. So over here, what will be the logic? So basically, as I have explained you previously as well, in any of the star patterns that you want to draw, it is just a matter of how you use the loops and the indices that is given to you. So basically, as you can see, this is having the 7 rows over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is a 7 row diamond shaped star pattern. So first of all, we are going to divide this program into 2 parts. We are first going to draw the pyramid pattern over here that is being highlighted, and then later on we are going to draw the reverse pyramid over here in order to complete our diamond shaped star pattern. Now what will be the logic? Over here, if you see, for this 7 rows diamond star pattern, the first row, that is this one, it is having how many space characters initially? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 space characters over here first of all, after which it is followed by a star character over here. And then on the second row we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 space characters in the second row and 2 stars over here, and so on. There will be 4 space characters and then 3 space characters. So the space characters are decreasing, and ultimately over here we will have no space characters initially but 7 star characters over here. So let us move to the Eclipse IDE and draw this diamond shaped star pattern over here. So first of all, I will give the variable that is row, it is equal to 7 right now, because that is the number of rows that we are going to draw the star pattern for. And what we are going to do is, we are simply going to use some loops over here. So the first loop, it will be for loop, and int I, it is going from 0 to I less than row, and then we have I plus plus over here. Now inside this outer for loop, we will again have inner for loop over here, where int j, it is equal to 0. J will go up to row minus 1. So over here it will be row minus 1 now, and then j plus plus. Now guys, why row minus 1? Because we want to have the space characters initially. How many space characters initially we want? Since the row number is 7 right now, we want the space characters to be 6. So 7 minus 1 will be 6. So j will go from 0 up to j less than 6, that is 5 over here. So 0 to 5, there will be 6 space characters. So we want to draw the 6 space characters over here with the print method. So I'm going to have the space characters. So basically this is going to print the 6 space characters over here. And now after this, we will again have the for loop in order to print the star characters now. So j, it will go from 0 up to j less than how many star characters we want? Only the I value. So right now the value of I, it is equal to 0 over here. So j, it is equal to 0 up to j less than or equal to I. So there will be only single star character that will be printed on the console by using this for loop over here, and then we will be incrementing the value, that is j plus plus. And inside this, what we are going to do is, again we are going to have the print statement, and we will have the star character over here being separated by spaces. So we have star and then followed by space character over here. So guys, probably this will help us in order to draw the pyramid star pattern over here, which is the part of the diamond star pattern. So let me just save this file and try running this code now to see what will happen. So as you can see, all the star characters are being printed on the same line. That's because we have not provided the println statement anywhere. So after this second for loop, inside the outer for loop, we will provide the println statement so that the other stars are printed on the other lines over here. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, we are getting some star pattern over here, but guys, we are getting the same number of space characters being printed over here. That's because we have done a mistake. Instead of doing row minus I, we are doing row minus 1 over here. So I'll simply provide row minus I over here. Let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, we have drawn the pyramid star pattern right now, and the reverse of this pyramid star pattern we need to draw over here below this 7th row. So now our program is partially completed. We just need to draw the reverse of this pyramid structure now. Guys, if you notice that on the 7th row over here, we are getting one extra space character initially, which we don't want. So this is occurring, that's because we have done rho minus I over here, we need to also include minus 1 over here. So it should be rho minus I minus 1, so that this space character is not included on that 7th row. Let me just save this file and try running this code once again, so that in order to see whether we are getting rid of that space character. Yes, now there is no space character over here, and now it is resulting in the first row is having 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 space character. Now similarly, what do we want is, after this 7th row, on the 8th row we want 6 star characters, as can be seen over here, which is having just 1 space character initially. So what we will do is, after this outer for loop, we will have another for loop over here, and then we will say int I. Again it will go from 0 up to I less than row minus 1 in this case. That's because we don't want the 7 star characters now, we want to end up to 6 star characters now. So row minus 1, and then we will have I plus plus. Now inside this for loop, again we are going to have the another for loop. So int j, this time what we will do is, we just want only 1 space character right now. So j, it will go from 0 up to j less than or equal to I in this case. So initially, since i's value is 0, we will only go from j0 up to j less than or equal to I, which is again 0 in this case. So only once the control flow will go inside this inner for loop, and then we have j plus plus now over here. Now inside this, after going once over here, we will have the print statement, and we will simply draw the space character over here. Now after this for loop, we will have another for loop. Now we want to draw the 6 star characters over here. So we need to print the 6 star characters. How do we print that? We will again go from j, it is equal to 0, and then j less than row, that is the number 7 minus I. So 7 minus, what is the value of I right now? It is 0, and then we will do minus 1, so that the j value becomes 6. So the control flow will go from j equal to 0 up to j less than 6, which is equal to j up to 5. So 6 space characters will be printed on the console. So over here we will have j plus plus, and then we will have the print statement over here, which will print the star characters. So we have print method, and then we have the star characters over here followed by space character, and then again we will have the println statement, so that the control flow goes on the next line over here. So we will have the print statement over here. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, we are getting some output over here. So if I expand this section, as you can see, this is the diamond shaped star pattern that we are getting right now. So guys, initially we had drawn the 7 star characters over here, and then in the reverse order we have drawn the reverse of the pyramid star pattern over here. So guys, this is the way we can draw the diamond shaped star pattern over here, and it is just a matter of how do we use the for loops and what is the logic that we are providing inside the for loop over here. So guys, practice on your own, so that on different inputs you get the different output of the star pattern. Java program to sort numbers using selection sort algorithm. Now guys, the selection sort algorithm sorts an array by repeatedly finding the minimum element considering the ascending order from the unsorted part and putting it at the beginning. So guys, the algorithm maintains 2 subarrays in a given array. So the first subarray, which is already sorted, and the remaining subarray that was unsorted over here. Now in every iteration of the selection sort, the minimum element considering ascending order from the unsorted subarray is picked and moved to the sorted subarray. So guys, what is the logic over here? So let's say for example, we have this array of elements over here, that is 64, 25, 12, 22, 11. So basically we are going to fix a pointer to the first element initially, that is 64, and we will compare all the other elements using the inner loop, that is from the second element up to the last element, and check that which is the minimum element from all these elements, and if there is any minimum element which is less than the first element which was already fixed, then this first element will be replaced by the minimum element. So over here, as you can see, 64 is the first element which is fixed at the first position, and we are going to find the minimum element out of all these 4 elements over here, and we are finding that 11 is the minimum element. So is 11 less than 64? Yes, in this case. So we have swapped these 2 elements, that is 11 and 64, 64. So 11 comes over here in the first position and 64 goes in the last position. And in the second iteration, we are going to fix this element, that is 25 over here, and we are going to check the other elements to check which is the minimum elements, and so on. We are going to continue our selection sort algorithm. So guys, let us move to Eclipse IDE over here and write a Java program for the selection sort algorithm. So first of all, we will have the array of elements over here. So int array, it is equal to, I'm going to take the same example, that is this particular array of elements over here. So I'll just paste this array of elements, and now we are going to find the length of this array. So it is simply array followed by dot, and then we have length over here. So we have length property which is going to provide us the length of the array of elements over here. And now we will be having our selection sort algorithm. So first of all, we will have the outer for loop. So int I, it is going from 0 up to I less than length minus 1. So we don't have to consider the last element, we just need to go up to this element, that is the length minus 1 over here, and then we have I plus plus over here, and then inside this we will have another for loop, in which case it is int j, it is going from I plus 1. So guys, basically the first element, it will be represented by this I value. So first element will be fixed, and the jth value should go from the next element, that is I plus 1 over here, up to the last element, that is the length. So over here I will say I plus 1, and then it will go up to j less than length in this case, and then we have j plus plus over here. Now inside this we need to check which is the minimum element. So guys, before this inner for loop, we have to define another variable over here. So I will say minimum index in this case. So we have minimum index as the I index over here. So we will say minimum index as I. So now we will compare all the other elements that is represented by the jth index with the first element that is already given as the minimum index over here. So what I will do is, we will simply have the if condition, and then we will say array of min index, that is this particular thing. We will copy this and paste this over here, which means array of min index right now is 64 value. Is it greater than array of jth value over here? So jth value is I plus 1, that is 25 right now. If yes, then what we will do is, we will update the minimum index right now. So minimum index should be the jth value. So over here I will say minimum index over here, it is equal to j value. So basically minimum index will be updated to the jth value, that is I plus 1, which will be representing this element, that is 25 right now. And then again what will happen is, the j plus plus will make the value of j go to this particular element, that is 12. So is array of min index right now, which will be the value of 25, is it greater than 12? Yes, in this case. So 12 will be minimum index now, and then so on. It will be compared in such a way that we go up to the end of the loop, and ultimately we will find that 11 is the minimum index right now, and then we will come out of this for loop. So after coming out of this for loop, what we will have to do is, whatever minimum index that we found, we need to replace it by the first index that is represented by this ith value over here. So we will have the temporary variable over here, and then we will say it is equal to array of min index right now. So array of min index is being stored in the temporary variable, and then we will say array of min index over here. So I'll simply paste this min index. It will be equal to array of I. So array of I is 64 right now, and this 64 will replace that number which is currently at the min index right now. And then what we will do is, array of I, it will be equal to temp in this case. So guys, we have successfully swapped the two numbers over here between the min index and the I variables over here. So let me just save this file, and before we can run this code, what we have to do is, we have to print the array of elements in the sorted order. So again we will have the for loop over here. It goes from int I, it is equal to 0, and then I is less than length, and then we have I plus plus over here. We will have the print statement. I'll remove this ln part, and then we will have array of I, and then separated by the space characters, and before this we will be having our print statement saying that sorted array. So we have sorted array over here followed by colon, and then again we will be printing the unsorted array over here. So I'll say unsorted array. We have unsorted array. It will be printed with the help of this for loop. So I'll just copy this and paste this over here. So unsorted array, and then we will also get the sorted array, and in between both the array elements what we will have is we will have the println statement so that both the labels are on separate lines. Let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, we are getting unsorted array. It is this the content of the array elements that we have already defined over here in our program, and the sorted array it is 11, 12, 22, 25, 64, which is in the ascending order. Guys, let us take another example now over here. Let's say I provide 100, then we have 123, 34, 23, 45, 21, 11, 9, and then 65 over here. And guys, one more thing, I'll remove this ln part over here so that the label and the content of the array elements are on the same line. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, unsorted array, we are getting this array that we have already defined in our program over here, and the sorted array we are getting all the elements in the sorted order 9, 11, 21, 23, 34, 45, 65, 100, 123. So guys, in this way we can easily use the selection sort in order to find the minimum element for the sub array over here, which is in the unsorted form, and then place it in the correct position, and ultimately we will find the positions of all the elements in such a way that the entire array will be sorted in the ascending order. Java program to sort numbers using insertion sort algorithm. So guys, the insertion sort is a simple sorting algorithm that works similar to the way you sort playing cards in your hands. Now guys, insertion sort is one of the efficient sorting algorithms that you can use for the small data sets in order to sort the array of elements having the integers. Now guys, the array is virtually split into a sorted and an unsorted part. Values from the unsorted part are picked and placed at the correct position in the sorted part. So for example, as you can see, we have this array that is 12, 11, 13, 5 and 6. So guys, initially we start from the first two elements over here, that is 12 and then 11. So in the first pass, what will happen is this 12, it will be compared with the second element that is 11, and if this 12 is greater than 11, so both these elements will be swapped over here. So 11 and 12 are being swapped, and then again it will be checked whether this 11 is it smaller than the previous element. So since it is the first element now and there is no previous element with which the element can be compared, so the first pass is completed. Now in the second pass, this 12 and 13 is taken into consideration. So is 13, is it less than the previous element that is 12? No, in this case. So second pass is also completed. In the third pass, we will take this 13 and 5. So is 5 less than the previous element that is 13? Yes, in this case. So 13 will be assigned to this fourth position over here. So 13 is assigned over here. 5 goes over here. Now is 5 less than the previous element that is 12? Yes, in this case. So 5 and 12 are again replaced over here. So 5 comes to the second position. And then is 5 less than the previous element that is 11? Yes, in this case. So both the elements are swapped. So 5 and 11 are being displayed over here. And then again the 5 is being compared with the previous position. But since there is no other position over here, 5 remains over here, and we have completed the third pass over here. So if you can see, after this third pass, 5, 11, 12, all these are in the sorted order. Again the unsorted array over here, that is 13 and then 6, it will be compared again, and in the fourth pass, the last element over here, that is 6, it will be compared with the other elements over here, and ultimately it will come to its position in such a way that all the elements are in the ascending order in the array. So guys, this is the way that the insertion sort algorithm will work. So let us move to the Eclipse IDE and check the Java program for the insertion sort algorithm. So first of all, we will define the array of integers. So int array, it is equal to, we will take the same example over here. So I'll simply copy this array of elements and paste this over here. And now what we have to do is we have to find the length of the array. So int length, it is equal to array followed by dot, and then we have length property. So this will return us the length of the array over here. And now we will have our for loop over here. So int I, it is going from the second position. So guys, remember that in the insertion sort, we will start from the second position over here, and we will be comparing the previous elements over here. So int I, it is equal to 1, and then I less than the length of the array, and then I plus plus over here. Now guys, inside this for loop, we will have a temporary variable and we will name it as key over here and assign the value of 11 over here, that is the second element, which is being represented by the ith index. So I will say array of I over here. So initially we will take this as the key and we will compare it with the previous elements over here. Now what we will do is we will have another pointer, that is int j, it is equal to I minus 1, that is the previous element. So right now the key value is 11 and array of j, it will be pointing to this element, that is 12 over here. Now what we will have to do is we will be using the while loop inside this for loop. So in the while loop we will be having our condition whether j is greater than or equal to 0. That's because we are going to decrement the value of j one at a time, and we will check whether this key, which is having the value of array of I right now, is it smaller than the jth value or not. So basically we are going to check whether array of j over here, so j is what? I minus 1, which is 12. So array of j is 12 right now. Is it greater than key over here, which is 11? And if yes, so what will happen is, what we will do is this 12 needs to be assigned to this second position over here. So we will do array of j plus 1 right now. So j plus 1 will be what? Since j it is equal to 12, j plus 1 will be at the second position over here. It will be equal to array of j over here. So 12 will be assigned to this array of j plus 1 over here, and then what we will do is j it is equal to j minus 1, so that the control flow will come over here once again. So is j greater than or equal to 0? No, in this case, since j value goes before this element, that is in the minus 1 index over here. So the control flow should come out of this for loop. So after coming out of this for loop, what we are getting is at the first position we already have 12. At the second position we also have 12. That's because of this particular line of code over here. So we simply have to assign this value, that is 11, which is present inside this key variable, to this array of j over here. Now since we have done j equals j minus 1, so j value is minus 1 right now. So we simply have to do array of j plus 1 in this case. So it will be j plus 1. It will be the value of key right now over here. So guys, to understand this algorithm once again, the outer for loop, it is having int I, it is equal to 1 up to the length. So basically we will be going from this second position, that is 11, up to the last element over here, that is 6. And now inside this we are having a key variable over here, which is being assigned array of I. So basically key value is 11 right now. J it is equal to I minus 1. So since we are comparing the previous elements, so j value will be at the first element right now, which will be 12 right now. So is j greater than or equal to 0? Yes, in this case, since over here it is j equal to 0. And is array of j, which means 12, is it greater than key, which is right now 11, since we have assigned the array of I to key over here? Yes, in this case. So array of j plus 1, it is equal to array of j, which means the array of j plus 1 over here, it will be assigned the value of array of j, which is 12 right now. So the array will be 12 and 12. So the 11 value is gone from here right now, but j equal to j minus 1 is done. So currently j value was 0 and j minus 1 will make it as minus 1 over here, and the control flow will come back again over here. Is j greater than or equal to 0? No, in this case. So since it is no, array of j plus 1, which is minus 1 right now, which will make it as minus 1 plus 1, it is equal to 0. So array of 0, it will be key over here, and key was 11. So 11 will come over here. So we have 11, 12, 13, 5, 6. So in the first iteration, we have got the first two elements sorted over here. In the second iteration, I value will be 2 right now. So it will be 13 over here. Again, key value will be equal to array of I, which is equal to 13. J, it will be equal to I minus 1. So I minus 1 is over here, which will be 12 in this case after the first iteration. So is j greater than or equal to 0? Yes, in this case. Array j greater than key over here. So key is 13 and array of j is 12 right now. So no, in this case. So j plus 1, it is equal to key, which is already being assigned over here as 13, and so on, guys. The other elements will be also compared and it will be sorted in the ascending order. So guys, before running this code over here, we need to print the content of the array. So what we will do is we will have the print statement first of all, and we will say sorted array over here. So we have sorted array colon, and then we will be having our for loop. It will be int I is equal to 0, I less than length and then we have I plus plus over here, and then again we will be having our print statement. In this case we will be printing the content of the array of I and then followed by the space character in order to separate them using the space characters over here. I'll simply copy these lines of code over here so that we can also print the unsorted array over here. So we have unsorted array, and again this will print the unsorted array over here, and then before this we will be having our println statement so that both the content of the arrays are printed on the different lines. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, the unsorted array, it is 12, 11, 13, 5 and 6. That is what we had provided over here in the program. And then we have the sorted array as 5, 6, 11, 12, 13. So guys, in this way we can easily use the insertion sort in order to sort the array of elements in the ascending order. Now guys, we will change the content of the array in order to check whether it works for the other content of the array over here. So we will say 43, 42 and then 15, we have 16, 7, 4, 23 and then we have 109 and then we have 104 and then we have 1 and then we have 2 over here. Let me just save this file and try running this code now with this random number of elements over here in the array. So as you can see, we have the sorted array over here. We have 1, 2, 7, 15, 16, 42, 43, 104, 109, 423. So all the elements over here are in the ascending order. So guys, this is the way we can write our insertion sort algorithm using the Java program. Java program to generate multiplication table. So guys, in this program, we will learn how do we generate the multiplication table of a given number that is entered by the user. We can easily use the for loop, or else we can also use the while loop in Java in order to print the multiplication table of the entered number. So for example, let's say if the user enters the number that is 5, so the multiplication table will look like this, that is 5 multiplied by 1, it is 5, 5 multiplied by 2, it is 10, and so on. All the results should get displayed. So guys, this is the Java program that we are going to write in order to get this kind of input over here. So let us move to the Eclipse IDE over here, and the very first thing that we will do is we will declare a variable that will be the integer number. Now this number will be entered by the user, so we have to ask the user to enter the number in order to find the multiplication table of. So over here we will say enter number for multiplication table, and then user will enter this number. So over here we will be using our scanner class in order to take the input from the user, which is one of the easiest way in order to take the input from the user on the console. So over here we have the new scanner, and then in the parenthesis we will be having the system.in so that the user is able to provide the input on the console over here. Now this input will be taken by using the sc object. So we have sc followed by dot, and then we have something called as next int over here. So guys, this is the method, that is next int, which is responsible in order to take the input from the user. Now once this input is taken from the user on the console, we have to assign it to this number variable. So we can simply provide this number variable over here followed by equal to operator. So this line of code will help us in order to assign the entered number to this number variable over here. Now we simply have to print the multiplication table. So how do we print that? So we are simply going to have the for loop, and then we will have int I. It is going from 1 up to, we want the numbers up to 10, so it will be I less than or equal to 10 in this case, and then we have I plus plus over here. Now guys, simply we will be having our print statement over here in order to print the multiplication table. So we will be having our print ln, and then what do we want is this expression, that is 5 multiplied by 1, it is equal to 5 in this case. So over here the 5 number will be fixed, which will be the entered number by the user over here. So we will be using this number, so we say number and then followed by plus, then we have a space character followed by this multiplication symbol, and then we have the space character once again. So we have double quotes, space over here, and then followed by star character, and then we have space once again, and this number is changing every time. So initially this is 1, then we have 2, then we have 3, 4, 5. So this number, how we can get this? Using this I variable, which is dynamic in this case, since after every iteration over here the I's value will be changing. So over here we will be providing I value, and then followed by, what do we have is, we have a space character equal to, and then space, and then the result of this multiplication. So over here we have double quotes followed by space equal to, and then we have space character once again, and then the result of this multiplication, that is number multiplied by I, what will be the result over here? So we simply have to provide the expression inside the brackets over here. So we will say number then multiplied by I over here in this case, which will give us the result of the multiplication of these two numbers over here. So guys, just by using this one println statement, we will be able to get the entire multiplication table of the number that is entered by the user. So guys, let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, enter number for multiplication table. Let's say I provide the number as 5 over here, and then when we press enter, so as you can see, the multiplication table is generated. If I expand this console, as you can see, 5 multiplied by 1, it is 5, then 5 multiplied by 2, it is 10, and so on. We are getting all the results over here up to 5 multiplied by 10, which is equal to 50. So guys, in this way, we can easily write the Java program in order to generate the multiplication table over here. Let's say you want to generate the multiplication table of a very high number. So let's say 32 is the number that you want the multiplication table of. So let me just run this code once again over here, and we simply have to provide 32 as the number, and when we press enter, then the multiplication table of this entered number, that is 32, will be generated. So as you can see, we have 32, 64, 96, and then in the end 32 multiplied by 10, it is equal to 320. So in this way we can get the multiplication table of any number based on your requirements. Guys, apart from this, if you want the multiplication table to extend up to 20, so in this case we have taken the numbers from 1 to 10 only, that is I is going from 1 to 10, we can make this as I is going from 1 to 20. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. We want to get the multiplication table of, let's say, the number 15 from 1 up to 20. So we'll press enter over here. As you can see, we are getting the entire multiplication table, that is 15 multiplied by 1, and then we have 15 multiplied by 2, up to we are getting 15 multiplied by 20. So based on your requirements, you can provide the number over here in the I variable in order to get the multiplication table up to that number. Java program to calculate the power of a number in Java. So guys, basically in this program you will learn to calculate the power of a number with and without using the power function. So this power method is being used from the math library. So apart from using this method, we will be also using the loop. So basically there are two ways in order to find the power of a number. So first of all, we will be using our loop in order to find the power of the number, and secondly we will be also using the power method that belongs to the math library in order to find the power of a number. So let's say for example, we have over here the base number is 3 and exponent is equal to 4. So the result should be 81. So guys, basically how this result is 81, the logic behind finding the power of the method is the number that is the base number raised to the exponent, that is 4. So basically this expression is nothing but 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. So the base number over here is being multiplied by the same base number. How many times? 4 times over here, since the exponent is 4, and this is how we are going to get the result as 81. So guys, this is the logic that we are going to use in our loop as well. So let us move to the Eclipse IDE. So over here we will be asking the user to enter two numbers. The first number will be the base number and the second number will be the exponent number. So guys, over here we will be using our scanner class. So we will use the scanner class to take the input from the user. So it is equal to new scanner over here, and then we will be providing system.in to take the input from the user on console. And over here we will ask the user to provide the base number first of all. So it is print statement, and we will ask enter base number. So user will enter the base number by using the sc.nextInt method over here. Now this base number will be stored in this base variable. Similarly, we will ask the user to enter the exponent number. So I'll simply copy and paste these lines of code over here, and then we will ask enter exponent number, and this will be stored in this exponent variable. So I'll copy this exponent is equal to sc.nextInt. So guys, we will be having base number and exponent number being entered by the user over here. Now these two numbers we have to use in order to find the power of the base number. So guys, over here we will be using our for loop in which the integer I, it will go from 1 up to I less than or equal to exponent because that many times we need to multiply the base number, and then we have I plus plus over here. So guys, we will be having our another variable in which we will store our result. So let's say we provide the variable as int result, which is initialized as 1. So over here what we have to do is we have to use this result variable over here. It is equal to result multiplied by the base number. So guys, let's say the base number that is entered by the user, it is 3 and exponent is 4. So I will go from 1 up to 4 over here. So result initially is 1. So 1 multiplied by 3, it will be 3 that will be stored in this result variable, and then again 3 multiplied by 3 will be 9, and then again 9 multiplied by 3 will give us 27, and in the last iteration 27 multiplied by 3 will give us 81, and that is how we are going to find the power of the two numbers that is entered by the user. So when the control flow comes out of this for loop, we will be having the power of the two numbers inside this result, which we just need to print over here. So we will say the result is, so over here we have result is colon, and then we will simply print the result variable over here. Let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, enter base number is being asked to the user. So we will provide 3 as the number, and then we have enter exponent number. We will provide 4 as the number. When we press enter, it says the result is 81. That's because the result of this expression is being calculated, and then the result is 81 over here. Let us take another example. I'll run this code once again. Let's say I provide the base number as 2, and then let's say I provide the exponent number as 2 over here. So it is nothing but 2 raised to 2, for which the answer should be 4. So let me press enter over here. As you can see, the result is 4. So guys, this is the program that you can use in order to find the power of the two numbers. Simply by using the for loop, you can find the power of two numbers. Now guys, if you don't want to use the loop, what is the other method? We can use the power method from the math library. So over here, simply we need to have one expression in our print statement. So we will say the result is, and instead of this result, what we will do is we will import the math library. So as you can see, when we provide the math library and we press Ctrl and space, Eclipse is suggesting us this math library that belongs to the java.lang package. So we will use this package over here, followed by dot, and then we have something called as POW, which takes two numbers over here. So guys, we will be using this method over here, and in this case the base and exponent needs to be provided. So we have first parameter as base and second parameter as exponent over here. So as you can see, this is the expression that we have to use. It is basically math.power, and then the first parameter will be the base number, second parameter will be the exponent number that is being entered by the user. So let me just save this file and try running this code now. So we will take the base number as 3 and then the exponent number as 4, and then when we press enter, it says 81. So guys, the return type over here is double. That is why we are getting the decimal number over here. Let me just run this code once again. We will check 2, that is the base number, and exponent is 5 over here. Let me press enter. As you can see, result is 32. We will confirm this result in the calculator as well. So the expression over here will be 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. So over here equal to, so as you can see, 32 is the answer. 5 times we have multiplied the base number, that is 2, by itself. So guys, this is another way in order to find the power of the two numbers. Either you can use the for loop or you can use the power method from the math library. So Java program to display factors of a number in Java. So guys, basically in this program we will learn to display all factors of a given number using a loop in Java. So basically, what is a factor? It is any number that divides the given number perfectly. So what will be the logic? We will be using the percent operator in order to check whether the remainder is 0 or not. So basically, let's say for example, if the number that is entered by the user is 60, so what are the factors? So these are all the factors. That's because these numbers can divide this number that is 60 perfectly, in which case the percent operator will give us the remainder as 0. So guys, let us move to the Eclipse IDE in order to implement this logic. So first of all, we will ask the user to enter the number inside this number variable. So we will say print statement over here, and we will ask the user to enter number. So enter number over here, and then we will use the scanner class in order to take the input from the user. You can use any other class in order to take the input from the user. Buffered reader class can also be used in order to take the input from the user. So it depends on your preference over here. And then we will be having number variable followed by sc dot next int over here. So guys, this is the line of code that is responsible in order to take the input from the user and assign it to this number variable. Now guys, how do we find the factors? As I have told you, we will be using the for loop, and then the integer, it will go from I it is equal to 1 up to I less than or equal to the number that is being entered by the user and I plus plus. So over here what we will check is whether this number that is I can perfectly divide this entered number by the user. So we will say if this number that is entered by the user %I is it equal to 0? If yes, then we will simply print this number. Now guys, how do we print this number? Basically we are going to get all the factors in a single line, that is in this way. So how do we do this? Over here outside the for loop we will have the print statement first. We will remove this ln part, and then over here I will say factors of this number, and then we have colon, and then one at a time we have to print all the numbers over here. So simply I will have another print statement over here, and then I'll remove this ln part, and then over here I will say I, and then followed by we should have the space character, so that all the numbers must be separated by this space characters over here. So guys, this is the very simple logic. Number %I, if it is equal to 0, then that number that is I is the factor of the entered number, and it will be printed over here. If it is not 0, then the control flow will go to the next number up to the number that is being entered by the user. So guys, let me just save this file and try running this code now. So let's say we take the same example, enter number, it is equal to 60, and then when we press enter, it says factors of this number, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as you can see, 1 can divide 60, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all can divide 60. Now the next number that is 7, it cannot divide 60, that is why it is not in this list. 8 and 9 can also not divide 60. 10 can divide 60, so 10 is there in the list. 11 cannot divide, so 11 is not present. Then we have 12, and then we have 15, 20, 30, and then in the end 60, which can divide that number itself. So guys, this is the very simple logic in order to find the factors of the number as far as mathematics is concerned. Let me just run this code once again. We will check another example. Let's say 49 is the number. So when we press enter, as you can see, 1 can divide 49, 7 can divide 49, since 7 multiplied by 7 is 49, and then in between there are no other numbers which can divide 49, and then in the end we have 49 which can divide the number itself. So guys, only 3 factors we have for this number. Guys, let us run this code once again, and let us provide one prime number over here. So let's say when we enter 11, which is one of the prime numbers, and when we press enter, as you can see, 1 can divide that same number that is 11, and 11 itself can divide the same number that is 11. There is no other number which can divide this number, and that is why this number is called as prime number. So based on this logic, can you find what will be the factors of the number that is being entered by the user as 23? Please comment below your answers which will be the factors of this number that is 23. Java program to make a simple calculator using the switch case. So guys, in this program we will learn to make a simple calculator using the switch case in Java. Now this calculator would be able to add, subtract, multiply and divide two numbers. So for example, let's say we have these 4 operations, that is add, subtract, multiply and divide, by using these numbers, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically the user will choose the operator in this way. So for example, let's say the user wants to add 2 numbers, so the user will provide the number that is 1 over here, which is being represented by this add functionality. So the user will next enter the first number. So for example, the user enters 10 and the second number is being entered by the user as 20. So the result will be equal to 10 plus 20, it is equal to 30. In the similar way, there are other operations as well which will be covered using this calculator in the Java program. So guys, let us move to Eclipse IDE over here, and first of all we will define some variables. So we have int operator over here first of all, which will define what kind of functionality the user wants to perform, followed by we have first number, so let's say n1, and then the second number, that is n2 over here. And then guys, we will simply show the users the different operations over here. So we have the println statement over here, and inside this we will define the different operations. So 1 is for add, and then we have on the next line 2 is for subtract, and then so on. So over here what I will do is we provide /n. I'll just copy and paste these lines over here since I'm little bit lazy. So we have multiply, and then we have /n, and then we also have divide over here. So we copy this and we have divide. Now guys, on the next line we will ask the user to provide the operator, that is to choose the operator. So we ask the user to choose operator over here. So choose operator. So user will provide one of the numbers over here, either from 1 to 4. So how will the user provide the number? By using the scanner class. So we will be using the scanner class over here. So sc is the object, followed by new scanner, and then we have system.in, so that user can provide the input on the console over here. So now we will be using the sc object followed by dot next int over here. So this method will take the input from the user, and the input needs to be stored in this operator variable. So we have operator equal to sc.nextInt. So guys, basically what we have done so far is we have provided the different operations to the user, and user will select one of the operations to be done with the two numbers that will be entered by the user. So we ask the user to choose the operator, and user will enter this operator. Now guys, we will ask the user to enter the two numbers over here. So first of all, we will ask the user to enter first number. So over here we have enter first number and then colon. So user will provide first number in n1. So sc.nextInt. So the first number will be stored in the n1. Similarly, we will ask the user to enter the second number. So I'll just copy these lines of code and paste this over here. I'll say enter second number. It is n2 equal to sc.nextInt. So guys, over here the user is entering two numbers after entering the operator. Now we want the result to be displayed to the user. So what will be the logic? The result needs to be calculated using the switch case over here. So guys, switch is a very important case which you can use in order to carry out different operations, and it is one of the alternatives of the if else statements. So over here inside the switch statement, what we will pass is we will pass this operator and check what is the operator that is being provided by the user over here. So when we pass operator, we have to define the different cases over here. So what are the cases? The cases will be either from 1 to 4. So we have to define each and every case over here. So guys, this is the format. After providing the case keyword, we provide the value, that is 1, and then followed by colon, we have to provide the operations. So for 1, that is the add functionality over here, what is the operation that we have to perform? We have to add these numbers, that is n1 and n2. So over here what we will do is we will have another variable which will store the result, and initially we have its value as 0 over here. So what we will do in this case, that is case 1, it is result equal to n1 plus n2. So basically these two numbers that is being entered by the user, we are adding both the numbers and storing it in the result variable. And then guys, it is very important that we have the break keyword. So when we provide the break keyword, the following case statements that we have to provide over here, the control flow will not go in those case statements. So when we have another case statement, the next case statement will be with the value of 2, which is representing the subtract operation over here. So this 2, it is colon followed by the same operation, but in this case we have to subtract the two numbers. So n1 we will do minus n2 over here. Similarly, we have case 3 and case 4. So I'll quickly copy and paste these lines of code over here, and I'll change the cases. So when we have case 3, it will be n multiplied by n2, since case 3 is representing the multiplication operation, and then the case 4 is representing the divide operation. So we have to have n1 divided by n2 as case 4. So over here we have case 4 and n1 divided by n2. And then guys, in the end we also have the default case. So let's say by mistake user enters some other number apart from the numbers between 1 to 4. So the control flow should go in this default case as well. So when we have this default case, we can have our own code over here. So we will have the print statement, and we will say entered number is not valid, or we can say entered operator is not valid. So guys, this is the way we should also have the default statement over here, or the default case as well, in case the entered number by the user does not fall in this range. So guys, after the switch cases, what we will do is we will have the result in our result variable. So we will simply print this result variable over here. So we have a result is followed by colon, and then we have our result variable over here. So guys, this is the line of code. Let me just save this file and try running this code now. So as you can see, we have different operations. It says add, subtract, multiply and divide. Choose operator. So it is asking the user to choose the operator. So let's say we provide 1 as the operator. When we press enter, it says enter first number. So let's say I provide 10, and then enter second number. Let's say I provide 20, and then when we press enter, it says result is 30. So guys, this is the very simple way we have created our calculator over here, which is adding two numbers. Let me just run this code once again. Let's say I want to subtract two numbers over here. So I will choose the operator as 2 and then enter first number. Let's say I provide the first number as 45. And then the second number, let's say I provide it as 30. So the difference of two numbers will be, when I press enter, it says result is 15. That's because 45 minus 30 is 15 over here. Similarly, we can have multiply as well and divide operators as well. Now guys, it is very important to note that whenever we use the divide operator, it will provide us the integer value. So when we run this code once again, let's say I want to perform the divide operation. So I press 4 over here, and let's say we provide the first number, that is, let's say we provide 10 as the first number and the second number is 3. So 10 divided by 3 will give us 3 as the integer and not 3.33. That's because we are using the integer variable to store this result. So when we press enter over here, we get the result as 3. Now in order to get the accurate result, you need to have the result variable as double. So guys, the operations with the double data type, I'll leave it up to you as a homework for you so that you come to know how do we create the simple calculator using Java program. So we have come to the conclusion of this video about the Java programs. Hopefully you have got enough knowledge about the various Java programs that we have seen in this video. So continue learning and continue practicing. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, stay tuned.